My child, stop for a moment. This is my private message for you. I have been waiting for your attention, not because I need it, but because you need what I am about to say. Do not rush this. Do not treat this lightly. Stay with me until the very end, because every word carries weight for where you are right now. I am going to speak to places in you that you rarely show anyone. I am going to uncover thoughts you have kept silent. If you walk away too soon, you will miss what your heart has been asking for. Listen carefully. Lean in. What I am about to reveal is personal, and it will change how you see everything. My child, come close and let this feel quiet for a moment. I am not speaking to the world right now. I am speaking to you. This is personal. I have watched you move through your days carrying thoughts you never say out loud. You have learned how to function while something inside you feels unsettled. You answer people when they ask how you are, and you give them something simple, something easy to accept. But you and I both know there is more beneath that answer. You have been holding questions in your heart. You have been wondering if I still see you in the details. You have been asking, sometimes without words, whether your life matters in the way you hoped it would. I want you to understand something very clearly. I did not drift away from you. I have not been distracted. You have had my attention the entire time. When you felt unnoticed, I was watching closely. When you felt uncertain about where you stand with me, I was steady. This message is not general comfort thrown into the air hoping someone will catch it. It is directed straight at you because I know exactly where you are sitting emotionally right now. I know the tension in your chest that comes when you think about your future. I know the quiet disappointment that lingers from things that did not turn out the way you expected. You may not tell anyone how much those things affected you, but I know. I saw the way you processed it in private. I felt the weight you carried afterward. You have been stronger than you realize, but strength does not mean you have not been tired. You have kept going, even when your heart felt thin. That matters to me more than you understand. I also want you to hear this without filtering it through your doubt. You are not forgotten in my plans. You sometimes imagine that I am focused on louder lives, on people who appear more certain or more spiritual than you. That is not how I look at my children. I see you fully, including the parts you wish were different. You do not have to hide your uncertainty from me. You do not have to clean yourself up before you come close. I am not measuring you the way you measure yourself. You are harder on your own heart than I have ever been. When you replay your mistakes, I am not replaying them with you. When you question whether you have delayed your purpose, I am not shaking my head in disappointment. I am patient with your process. I understand how you think, how you feel, how you sometimes spiral in your own thoughts. I designed you with intention. Nothing about your personality surprises me. What concerns me is not your imperfection, but the way you let it convince you to pull away from me. This is why I am speaking directly now. I do not want distance growing where closeness belongs. You need to know that I am still invested in your life, still guiding you even when you cannot trace the path. There are things unfolding that you cannot see yet, and your current season is not evidence of abandonment. It is part of development. I am shaping your understanding, your endurance, your perspective. I am strengthening areas that will matter later. You may not feel dramatic change today, but something is stabilizing inside you even now as you listen. Stay here with me in this moment. Let this sink in without rushing past it. This is my private message to you because your heart needed reassurance that I am near, attentive, and deeply committed to your life. My child, let me take you somewhere deeper now. You have walked through rooms thinking you were alone in your thoughts, yet I was there before you arrived. You have sat in silence late at night with your phone dimmed and your mind loud, and you assumed no one understood the way your heart felt stretched thin. I understood. I was not observing you from a distance like a stranger studying your behavior. I was near you, closer than your breathing, aware of every subtle shift in your spirit. When your confidence dipped and you tried to compensate by acting composed, I saw the strain in you. When you told others you were fine, I heard the difference between your words and your truth. Do not minimize that. I do not overlook your internal battles simply because they are invisible to other people. You have wondered if your quiet endurance even counts for anything. It counts to me. The days when you resisted giving up, the moments when you swallowed words that could have caused damage, the restraint you showed when anger felt justified, I saw those choices. They were not dramatic. They were not public. But they were real. And I value what is real. You may think I only notice grand gestures or impressive faith. That is not how I measure devotion. I pay attention to the small, steady decisions you make when no one is applauding you. I saw you choose integrity when compromise would have been easier. I saw you step back from something that would have complicated your peace. I saw you try again after disappointment, even when you felt foolish for hoping. That matters. You often imagine that heaven celebrates loud victories, but there is quiet joy when you simply keep going. There is a kind of strength in your persistence that you do not give yourself credit for. You look at your life and see unfinished projects, unanswered prayers, progress that feels painfully slow. I look at your life and see formation. I see maturity growing in places that used to be reactive. I see patience stretching where impatience once ruled. You might call this season uneventful. I call it essential. And now listen to me carefully and do not brush this aside. You are protected in ways you cannot trace. There were outcomes that could have unfolded differently. There were conversations that could have escalated. There were opportunities that looked promising but would have drained you. I redirected some of them quietly. I softened certain blow. I prevented a few attachments from tightening around you. You did not see the full picture, but I did. And I am still doing that kind of work on your behalf. You are not navigating chaos alone. Even when circumstances appear random, there is oversight over your life. That does not mean you will never face difficulty. It means difficulty does not get the final word. Take a breath right now. Slow your thoughts. Let this settle. You are not surviving by accident. You are not still standing because of luck. I have been guarding you in subtle ways. I have been strengthening you from the inside out. You might not feel powerful, but you are more resilient than you were a year ago. Look at how you handle tension now compared to before. Look at how you recover from disappointment. That growth did not come from nowhere. I have been shaping you through situations that felt inconvenient at the time. Do not resent the process that produced your stability. And I want you to do something with this understanding. Stop telling yourself that you are barely making it. You are growing. Stop assuming that silence means inactivity. I am working even when you cannot detect movement. Trust that. Lean into that. Speak to me honestly about what still scares you. Invite me into your confusion instead of hiding it. I am not intimidated by your questions. Bring them. I would rather you wrestle openly with me than drift quietly away. You are watched over. Not watched with suspicion, but watched with care. There is a difference. I am not searching for false accord. I am looking for ways to guide you forward. I am invested in your peace, your clarity, your long-term well-being. You can relax your shoulders a little. You can stop bracing for disaster every time something feels uncertain. I am not asleep while you worry. I am attentive. I am involved. Stay aware of that. Let it anchor you when your thoughts try to convince you that you are handling life alone. And now stay with me, because what I am about to say connects to this protection you rarely notice. You have interpreted quiet seasons as rejection. You have assumed that because you did not hear immediate answers, I must have stepped back. That conclusion has weighed on you more than you admit. You prayed, you waited, and when nothing shifted visibly, you felt overlooked. I want you to reconsider that interpretation. Silence does not equal absence. There are times when I speak loudly and clearly, and there are times when I allow stillness to do the shaping. You tend to value visible change. I value deep change. You focus on outcomes you can measure. I focus on roots that hold when pressure increases. Think about the last season that frustrated you. You asked for clarity. Instead, you received delay. You asked for resolution. Instead, you experienced space. That space was not empty. It was formative. In that stillness, you became more self-aware. You confronted motives you had not examined before. You noticed habits that needed adjusting. If I had rushed to answer you externally, you would have missed the internal strengthening that had to happen first. That is not punishment. That is preparation. I care too much about your long-term stability to give you what you are not yet grounded enough to carry. You sometimes treat waiting like failure. It is not. Waiting can refine your perception. It can reveal what truly matters to you. It can calm impulsive decisions. You have grown more thoughtful over the past year. That growth came through pauses you did not enjoy. When you felt like nothing was progressing, something essential was being built inside you. You were developing discernment. You were learning restraint. You were becoming less reactive. Those shifts are not flashing, but they are foundational. I want you to do something now. Revisit a moment when you felt abandoned by silence. Instead of labeling it neglect, ask yourself what changed in you during that period. You may realize that you became steadier. You may notice that you stopped chasing validation from places that could not sustain you. You may recognize that your standards became clearer. That is not coincidence. That is growth cultivated in quiet. There is a kind of strength that only develops when external reassurance is minimal. You have that strength forming now. It allows you to stand without constant confirmation. It teaches you to trust beyond immediate evidence. I am not ignoring you when I am quiet. I am often working in layers too deep for quick explanation. You prefer visible victories. I am committed to durable character. And here is something I need you to receive without resistance. You are not being sidelined. You are being stabilized. That distinction matters. You might feel like you are watching others move ahead while you remain in pause. You are not behind. Your timing is aligned with your readiness. I would rather you step into something solid than rush into something that would unravel you. So adjust your perspective. Stop interpreting stillness as neglect. Let it be what it is, a workshop for your inner life. Stay engaged with me even when answers are not immediate. Keep speaking honestly. Keep showing up. Do not withdraw simply because the response is not dramatic. Growth does not always announce itself loudly. You are not alone in the quiet. I am present in it. And if you allow yourself to trust that, you will find that the silence you once feared is actually holding you steady for what comes next. My child, I want you to sit with me here for a little while because this part matters more than you realize. You have been carrying weight that you rarely name. You have responsibilities that press against you from different directions, expectations that sit quietly on your shoulders, and private disappointments that you tuck away where no one can see them. You function. You show up. You answer messages. You handle tasks. From the outside, you look steady. But I see the subtle strain in you. I see how your mind rarely rests. I see how your heart tightens when you think about everything that depends on you. And I need you to hear this clearly. You were never meant to carry all of it alone. Somewhere along the way, you convinced yourself that strength means silence. You decided that being dependable means absorbing pressure without expressing pain. That is not the definition I gave you. Strength does not require suppression. Dependability does not demand isolation. You have been managing, adjusting, adapting, stretching yourself thin so that others can remain comfortable. I admire your heart. I value your willingness. But I do not want you living in quiet overload. I want you to notice how often you minimize your own exhaustion. You say, "It's fine," when it is not fine. You tell yourself, "I can handle it," when you are already drained. You keep pushing forward because stopping feels like failure. Listen to me. Stop for a moment. Feel what you are actually feeling instead of what you think you should feel. Breathe slowly. Let your shoulders drop. You do not have to perform resilience in front of me. I am not impressed by your ability to endure in silence. I care about your well-being. There are layers to what you are carrying. Some of it is practical, finances, deadlines, health concerns, family dynamics. Some of it is emotional, unresolved conversations, unspoken hurt, lingering regret. Some of it is spiritual, questions about direction, doubts about timing, confusion about purpose. You bundle all of it together and try to move through your day as if it is manageable. It is understandable that you feel stretched. When you try to hold everything at once, your inner world becomes crowded. I want you to consider a different approach. Hand me what you cannot control. Do it deliberately. Speak it out loud if you need to. Tell me exactly what is weighing on you. Do not sanitize it. Do not summarize it. Be specific. I already know the details, but I want you to acknowledge them honestly. Here's relief and release. There is clarity and confession. I am inviting you into a sacred exchange. You give me your burden, I give you steadiness. That is not poetic exaggeration. That is realignment. You have been gripping concerns so tightly that your hands are tired. Open them. Let me hold what was never yours to fix entirely. You can still act responsibly without carrying everything emotionally. You can care deeply without collapsing internally. I am not asking you to withdraw from your life. I am asking you to trust me with the weight. There is a difference. You also need to stop measuring your worth by how much you manage. You are not valuable because you solve problems. You are not loved because you stay strong. You are mine because I chose you. That truth stands even when you are depleted. If you keep tying your identity to productivity, you will exhaust yourself chasing approval that you already have from me. Let me shift your perspective. You are allowed to need support. You are allowed to say you are tired. You are allowed to admit that something hurt you more than you expected. That honesty does not weaken you. It deepens you. It keeps you human instead of hardened. I would rather you come to me vulnerable than distant. I would rather you lean into me uncertain than stand apart pretending you are unaffected. Come closer instead of pulling back. When you feel overwhelmed, do not withdraw into isolation. Turn toward me. Speak plainly. Ask for help. You do not have to craft impressive prayers. You can say, "I am tired," and that is enough for me to respond. Now let me give you a contrast that may shift how you see this. There is a difference between carrying responsibility and carrying fear. Responsibility can be handled step by step. Fear multiplies weight unnecessarily. Examine what you are holding. Some of it is action-oriented and healthy. Some of it is imagined outcomes that have not happened. Release the imagined disasters. Focus on what is real. Do not let anxiety exaggerate tomorrow. When your thoughts begin to spiral, interrupt them. Tell yourself the truth. You are not alone. You are not unsupported. You are not abandoned in the pressure. I am with you in the practical and in the personal. I am steady when you feel stretched. Invite me into your schedule, not just your crisis. Invite me into your decisions before they become burdens. Walk through your day aware that I am present. You will find that the weight shifts when you remember you are not the only one carrying it. Let that awareness settle into you. Let it steady you. And as you feel that shift, stay open, because this connects to something else I need to address with you. My child, I know how often you compare your timeline to someone else's. You scroll through images of success, stability, celebration, and you quietly measure your own progress against what you see. You tell yourself you should be further by now. You question whether you made wrong turns. You wonder if you missed a window that will not open again. That comparison hath been stealing your peace in subtle ways. It hath been whispering that you are late, that you are lacking, that you are somehow less accomplished than you should be at this stage. I need you to step out of that comparison right now. Close that mental ledger. Stop calculating your worth against someone else's milestones. Your life is not a race with synchronized clocks. Your path has its own pacing, its own preparation, its own purpose. I am not running your story according to someone else's highlight reel. I am shaping your journey according to your capacity, your calling, your growth. What looks like delay from your perspective may actually be alignment from mine. You cannot see the full architecture of your future. I can. Trust that I am not careless with your time. Let me speak plainly about timing. You believe that opportunity has an expiration date stamped in bold. Sometimes you assume that if something did not happen by a certain age, it will never happen. That assumption is not rooted in truth. It is rooted in pressure. The world promotes urgency without wisdom. It pushes you to achieve quickly, to accumulate visibly, to prove progress publicly. I am not rushing you through your own formation. I'm more interested in depth than speed. If I had handed you certain responsibilities earlier, you might have accepted them without the maturity to sustain them. If I had accelerated certain outcomes, you might have built them on unstable foundations. I value longevity over immediacy. I care about your endurance, not just your entrance. You are not late to what is meant for you. What belongs in your life will not bypass you because of someone else's timeline. Release the fear that you have missed your chance. That fear is not coming from me. Now I want you to do something practical. The next time you feel that comparison rising, pause and redirect your attention. Instead of asking why someone else is ahead, ask how you have grown. Instead of focusing on what you lack, notice what you have learned. You have developed insight through setbacks. You have gained discernment through disappointment. You have cultivated resilience through seasons that stretched you. Those qualities are not glamorous, but they are powerful. They prepare you for sustainability. You are building something more solid than you realize. You not dismiss slow progress as failure. So can be steady. Steady can be strong. Strong can endure. There is also something you need to understand about visibility. Not everything valuable is public. Some of your most important development has happened privately. You have wrestled with doubts and come out clearer. You have faced internal conflicts and grown more grounded. That growth does not trend online, but it matters deeply. You are becoming someone with depth, not just display. That matters to me. When the right opportunities open, you will step into them with stability rather than insecurity. You will not need constant validation because you will know who you are. That kind of confidence takes time to build. So I am asking you to adjust your lens. Stop labeling your current season as behind. See it as preparation. See it as positioning. See it as quiet construction beneath visible ground. Invite me into your frustration when it surfaces. Tell me honestly when you feel discouraged. I would rather you bring that emotion to me than let it fester into bitterness. Walk forward without the constant pressure of comparison. Keep doing the work in front of you. Keep tending to your character. Keep trusting my pacing over public pressure. Your life is not off track. It is unfolding. And you are not behind. You are being prepared. My child, I want you to look back with me for a moment, not with regret, not with resentment, but with curiosity. There were doors you knocked on that did not open. There were conversations you hoped would go differently. There were plans you laid out carefully that somehow unraveled. At the time, you felt confusion rise in you. You questioned whether you misheard me. You wondered if you were overlooked. Some days you felt almost embarrassed for believing something good was about to happen. I was there in that exact moment when your expectations fell flat. I saw the shift in your eyes. I felt the disappointment settle into your chest. You interpreted that delay as denial, maybe even as disapproval. But I need you to reconsider that interpretation. That closed door was not cruelty. It was coverage. That interruption was not rejection. It was redirection. You only saw the surface. I saw the structure underneath. You were ready for the opportunity, but the opportunity was not ready for you. You wanted the relationship, but the relationship was not aligned with your long-term peace. You thought you lost something valuable, but I saw the hidden cost attached to it. There are consequences you never experienced because I shielded you from them. There are entanglements you avoided because I quietly tightened the boundaries. You might not celebrate that protection because it did not look like success. It looked like setback. But I do not measure protection by applause. I measure it by preservation. If I had allowed certain situations to unfold fully, they would have drained your confidence, distorted your priorities, or distracted you from growth you still needed. I am not interested in giving you something that shines briefly but collapses quickly. I am committed to sustainability in your life. Now let me speak to the frustration you felt in the waiting. You asked me why things were moving so slowly. You questioned whether I was ignoring your prayers. You watched others step into what you desired and you quietly wondered why your timeline felt stalled. I did not ignore you. I was calibrating circumstances you could not see. I was aligning pieces behind the scenes. Some delays are designed to prevent damage. Some pauses are positioned to strengthen discernment. When you could not move forward, you learned patience you did not know you lacked. When you could not control the outcome, you developed trust you would not have chosen voluntarily. That kind of internal construction does not trend publicly, but it fortifies you privately. I was more concerned with your foundation than your momentum. I want you to do something specific now. Revisit one delay that still bothers you. Instead of labeling it as lost time, examine what it produced in you. Did it sharpen your awareness? Did it deepen your boundaries? Did it refine your standards? Growth often hides inside inconvenience. I know you prefer smooth transitions, but smooth does not always strengthen you. Some friction forms resilience. So resistance clarifies priorities. You are stronger now because of what did not happen. You are wiser now because of what you had to wait through. There is also something else you need to hear. I am not punishing you with pauses. I am protecting you with perspective. When you push against timing, you increase your anxiety. When you trust my pacing, you reduce unnecessary pressure. I am not withholding good from you out of reluctance. I am sequencing your life with intention. You cannot see the entire architecture, but I can. I am positioning you for stability, not just speed. If I had rushed certain blessings into your hands, you might have gripped them from insecurity rather than gratitude. You might have leaned on them instead of leaning on me. That is not the life I am building with you. So when something does not open immediately, do not assume abandonment. Ask for understanding. Invite me into your confusion instead of shutting down. Speak honestly about your disappointment. I can handle your questions. What I do not want is your withdrawal. Stay engaged. Stay open. Stay receptive. There is a difference between forcing a door and waiting for the right one. I want you walking through doors that expand you, not exhaust you. The delays were not empty. They were intentional. They were layered with lessons, protection, and preparation. You may not have celebrated them at the time, but one day you will look back and recognize the mercy woven into what you once called misfortune. Trust that my restraint in your life is not neglect. It is care. And as you let that truth settle into you, there is another area I need to gently uncover. There is something you do not speak about often. It sits quietly in you. It does not dominate your every thought, but it surfaces when you least expect it. A memory, a moment, a person, a missed outcome. You have learned to function around it, but you have not fully processed it. I know exactly what I am referring to. You do not have to say it out loud for me to recognize it. I was there when it happened. I saw your expression change. I felt the hope drain from you in that instant. You tried to recover quickly. You told yourself it was not that significant, but it was significant to you. And because it mattered to you, it matters to me. You handled that disappointment with more composure than most people realized. You did not lash out. You did not collapse publicly. You adjusted. You recalibrated. But inside, you questioned yourself. You wondered if you misjudged the situation. You replayed conversations. You scrutinized your own actions. You even considered whether you had imagined the potential entirely. That internal analysis had been heavier than you admit. It made you more cautious. It made you less willing to hope boldly. That is understandable, but I do not want that disappointment defining your expectations moving forward. I want to heal it, not just help you manage it. You may think time has already healed it, but time alone does not always restore confidence. Sometimes it simply dulls the intensity while leaving the wound unaddressed. I am inviting you to bring that memory to me intentionally. Do not push it aside. Sit with it. Tell me how it made you feel. Tell me what it cost you emotionally. Do not filter your honesty. I am not offended by your hurt. I am attentive to it. Healing begins where honesty enters. If you keep pretending it no longer affects you, you will carry subtle caution into situations that deserve openness. I want you free from that guarded posture. There is also something you may not have considered. A disappointment protected you from an attachment that would have required compromise. It redirected you away from a version of yourself that would have been stretched beyond your readiness. You saw loss. I saw limitation avoided. You saw rejection. I saw refinement. That does not mean the pain was insignificant. It means it was not meaningless. I can use even your heartbreak as part of your formation. I can redeem what felt wasted. I can restore your willingness to hope without naivety. Now listen carefully and receive this without resistance. You are allowed to hope again. Do not let one closed chapter convince you that future chapters will mirror it. You are not destined to repeat disappointment. You are growing in discernment. You are developing clarity. You are becoming more grounded in who you are. That maturity will shape your next decisions differently. Let the lesson remain, but release the lingering shame. Let the insight stay, but surrender the insecurity. Take a breath and ask me to renew your confidence. Invite me to reshape your expectations. Do not carry quiet grief as if it is permanent. I can transform it. I can strengthen you through it. I can turn what once felt like a setback into a stabilizing force in your story. You are not fragile because you were disappointed. You are human. And I am here to restore what that moment quietly strained inside you. Stay open. Let me continue working in that place. And as you feel that healing beginning, understand that what I am building in you now will make future joy deeper and more secure than you imagine. Beloved, as I heal the disappointment you have carried in silence, I am also igniting a new courage within you, a courage that does not only restore your hope, but helps restore others. What I mend in you is not meant to end with you. When you choose to support this message through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are sowing seed into wounded soil across the earth. I said, "Give, and it shall be given unto you." And I speak that over you now as living promise, not distant scripture. The same way I am renewing your confidence, I will multiply what you release in faith. Your generosity becomes oil in the lamp that keeps this light burning for souls who are still sitting in quiet disappointment tonight. This is not a small act. It is participation in redemption. If your heart feels the stirring to help, that stirring is me, inviting you into partnership. Act now. Sow, support, and let your restored hope become someone else's breakthrough. My child, I want to speak gently but clearly into a place you rarely expose. You have a habit of measuring yourself with a scale that shifts depending on your last mistake. When something goes well, you feel steady for a moment. When something goes wrong, your internal verdict changes quickly. You examine your words, your decisions, your tone, your timing. You replay conversations long after they have ended. You wonder if you said too much or not enough. You question whether you handled something wisely. You scrutinize yourself in a way you would never scrutinize someone you love. And I need you to understand how heavy that self-judgment has become. You may think it keeps you humbled, but often it keeps you hesitant. You may think it protects you from repeating mistakes, but it also chips away at your confidence. I do not see you through the narrow lens you use on yourself. I see context. I see growth. I see intention. When you falter, I do not reduce you to the failure. I look at the pattern of your heart. You are harder on yourself than I have ever been. You sometimes confuse conviction with condemnation. Conviction draws you toward change without attacking your identity. Condemnation attacks your identity and convinces you that you are fundamentally flawed. I do not speak condemnation over you. When I correct you, it is precise and purposeful. It is not vague and crushing. If a thought about yourself leaves you feeling worthless, small, or permanently disqualified, that thought is not coming from me. I do not dismantle my own creation. I refine you, but I do not reject you. You must learn to distinguish between healthy reflection and destructive rumination. Reflection leads to clarity. Rumination traps you in cycles of shame. Notice how your energy drains when you dwell too long on what you should have done differently. That exhaustion is not a sign of growth. It is a sign that you are carrying unnecessary self-accusation. I want you to do something practical. The next time you feel that familiar wave of self-doubt rising, pause and speak truth intentionally. Tell yourself that growth is a process. Remind yourself that maturity develops over time. Refuse to label yourself permanently based on a temporary misstep. You would extend grace to someone else in your position. Extend it to yourself. That is not arrogance. It is alignment with how I see you. You are not defined by your worst day. You are not summarized by your most awkward moment. You are not disqualified because you are still learning. Let that truth settle deeply. You are in motion. You are developing. You are not finished. There is also something else you need to release. You have been comparing your internal struggles to other people's external composure. You assume that because someone else appears confident, they must not wrestle with the same insecurities. That assumption magnifies your own self-criticism. You see their highlight and compare it to your behind-the-scenes doubts. Stop doing that. You are not alone in the human experience of insecurity. The difference is that you tend to magnify your flaws while minimizing your strengths. I see your strengths clearly. I see your empathy. I see your discernment. I see your persistence. Those qualities are not accidental. They are evidence of development. Now listen to me closely. You are allowed to grow without despising who you currently are. Improvement does not require self-hatred. Maturity does not demand that you punish yourself into progress. If you keep equating worth with perfection, you will never feel secure. I am not asking you to become flawless before you feel love. I am inviting you to grow from a place of security rather than striving. Stand up straighter internally. Accept that you are in process. Speak to yourself with honesty, not hostility. When you fail, learn. When you succeed, stay grounded. But do not swing wildly between pride and shame. Stay steady. Stay aware. Stay open to correction without collapsing under it. I want you to practice a different internal dialogue. When you notice that critical voice becoming sharp and severe, interrupt it. Replace it with truth. Tell yourself that you are still becoming. Tell yourself that you are not abandoned in your imperfection. Invite me into that moment instead of hiding in it. I will guide you gently. I will show you where to adjust. I will strengthen your confidence without inflating your ego. That balance matters. You do not need to shrink to stay humble. You do not need to exaggerate your flaws to remain grounded. You are worthy because I say you are. Not because you achieved something impressive. Not because you avoided every mistake. But because you are mine. Let that be your anchor when self-doubt tries to rewrite your identity. You are not fragile in my hands. You are forming. And I am committed to shaping you without shaming you. Stay with the truth. Let it soften the harshness you have directed at yourself for too long. There is something about you that you sometimes wish you could mute. You feel deeply. You notice subtle shifts in tone. You pick up on emotional undercurrents that others overlook. When someone is hurting, you sense it. When tension enters a room, you feel it almost immediately. At times, the awareness exhausts you. You have wondered if life would be easier if you were less perceptive, less responsive, less emotionally attuned. You have even labeled yourself as too sensitive. I want to challenge that label. Your sensitivity is not a defect, it is design. I shaped you with a capacity to feel because that capacity allows you to connect, to care, to discern. It can become overwhelming if unmanaged, but it is not something you need to erase. You have likely experienced moments where someone dismissed your reaction as overthinking or overreacting. Those comments lingered. They made you question your instincts. They encouraged you to suppress your response rather than explore it. But suppression is not the same as maturity. Maturity involves understanding your sensitivity and learning how to steward it wisely. You do not need to numb yourself to survive. You need boundaries and perspective. When you feel something strongly, pause and examine it rather than immediately judging it. Ask yourself what the emotion is pointing toward. Sometimes it reveals compassion. Sometimes it reveals fear. Discern the difference. Your emotional awareness allows you to anticipate needs before they are spoken. It allows you to offer comfort without being prompted. It allows you to detect inconsistencies in environments that may not be safe. That is not weakness. That is perception. However, you must be careful not to absorb responsibility for everyone else's emotional state. There is a boundary between empathy and overextension. You can care deeply without carrying what is not yours. Learn to differentiate between what you are meant to support and what you are meant to release. Invite me into that discernment. I will help you identify where your sensitivity serves and where it strains. I also want you to consider how your sensitivity has protected you. There were situations where something felt off before you had logical evidence. That internal signal prevented deeper harm. There were relationships where you sensed imbalance early. That awareness saved you time and energy. Do not dismiss those instincts as weakness. They are part of how I guide you. However, sensitivity must be paired with stability. You cannot let every emotional shift dictate your identity. Feel what you feel, but do not let feelings define who you are. When emotions rise quickly, slow yourself intentionally. Take a breath. Ground yourself in truth before reacting. Speak with me in that moment. Say what you are feeling without exaggeration. Ask for clarity instead of assuming conclusions. This practice will strengthen your emotional resilience without dulling your empathy. You do not need to harden your heart to become strong. You need to anchor it. You have a tender heart, and that tenderness is powerful when aligned with wisdom. Do not apologize for feeling deeply. Instead, learn to steward that depth. Allow it to enhance your compassion without overwhelming your peace. Guard your energy wisely. Set limits where necessary. Withdraw when you need to recharge without guilt. You are not required to be emotionally available to everyone at all times. Your sensitivity, when guided well, becomes strength with softness. It becomes insight with integrity. It becomes compassion with clarity. I designed you with intention. I did not make a mistake in how deeply you feel. Bring that part of yourself to me instead of trying to reshape it alone. I will teach you how to live with depth without drowning in it. And as you learn that balance, you will see that what you once viewed as weakness is actually one of your most meaningful strengths. My child, there are things happening within you right now that you cannot measure with your eyes. You keep looking for visible evidence that something is changing. You want clear signs, obvious breakthroughs, undeniable shifts. But I need you to understand that some of the most important work I do in you is quiet, careful, and concealed. You are searching for fireworks when I am building foundations. You are scanning the horizon for movement while I am restoring strength beneath your feet. Healing does not always announce itself loudly. Often it unfolds gently, almost unnoticed, until one day you respond differently to something that used to unsettle you, and you realize that growth has taken place. Think about how you used to react when certain words were spoken to you. Think about how quickly you once internalized criticism or allowed rejection to define your mood. Now notice how you pause more often. Notice how you question your assumptions before believing them. Notice how you do not spiral as deeply as you once did. That shift did not happen by accident. I have been adjusting your internal responses. I have been softening wounds that were inflamed. I have been strengthening areas that once felt fragile. You may still feel sensitive, but you are not as shaken. You may still feel emotion, but you are not as unstable. That is progress. It is subtle, but it is significant. There are memories that used to sting sharply when they surfaced. Now they feel less volatile. They still matter, but they do not dominate you. That is healing at work. You did not force it. You did not orchestrate it alone. I have been present in your processing. When you sat quietly thinking about past experiences, I was guiding your reflection. When you reconsidered a painful interaction and saw it from a new angle, that clarity was not random. I was helping you untangle it. I was teaching you to see with depth instead of distortion. You often assume that because you still feel certain emotions, you must not be progressing. That is not accurate. Healing does not mean erasing emotion. It means transforming how emotion influences you. You are learning to feel without collapsing. You are learning to remember without reliving. You are learning to move forward without denying what happened. That is maturity forming inside you. It is not dramatic, but it is durable. Now I want you to cooperate with this process. Stop demanding instant transformation. Stop telling yourself that you should be further along. Instead, participate intentionally. When an old wound surfaces, do not panic. Bring it to me. When insecurity whispers, counter it with truth. When fear exaggerates tomorrow, ground yourself in what is real today. Speak honestly. Invite me into your reactions in real time. Say, I feel unsettled. Help me respond wisely. That simple invitation opens space for clarity. There is also restoration happening in places you rarely examine. Your trust is being rebuilt carefully. You are becoming less reactive to unpredictability. You are developing emotional stamina. That is not accidental. I am strengthening your interior world so that external circumstances have less power over you. You used to be more easily destabilized by uncertainty. Now you question your fears before accepting them. That is growth. It may not look impressive to others, but it is transformative for you. I need you to trust that I am working beyond your awareness. You do not see every adjustment I am making. You do not recognize every protective boundary I am reinforcing. You do not notice every distorted belief I am correcting gently over time. But the evidence will appear in how you live. One day you will face a situation that once would have overwhelmed you, and you will handle it with composure. That moment will not be luck. It will be fruit from hidden healing. So stop scanning constantly for dramatic change. Instead, cultivate awareness of quiet progress. Reflect on how you have grown in patience. Reflect on how you communicate more clearly now. Reflect on how you recover more quickly from disappointment. Those are not small things. They are indicators that something is strengthening within you. Let yourself rest in that knowledge. Let yourself trust that I am attentive even when you cannot see the work. Healing is not always loud. Sometimes it is steady in ways that build resilience without spectacle. And you, my child, are becoming more resilient than you realize. Stay open. Stay patient. Stay willing to grow. I am not finished shaping you, and what I am building inside you will sustain you in seasons you have not yet reached. My child, I know how your mind travels ahead of you. You can be sitting quietly, and suddenly your thoughts are racing through scenarios that have not happened. You imagine worst-case outcomes. You anticipate financial strain. You pivot your relational tension. You forecast health concerns. You try to solve problems that do not yet exist. You tell yourself that preparing mentally will reduce impact later. But what often happens is that your body absorbs stress from events that are still hypothetical. Your heart tightens over imagined disasters. Your sleep becomes lighter because your mind refuses to rest. I see that pattern in you. I see how often you brace for what might go wrong. Let me ask you gently, how many of those imagined catastrophes have actually occurred exactly as you predicted? Very few. Your mind exaggerates threats in an attempt to feel prepared. But preparation built on fear drains you. I am not asking you to ignore responsibility. I am asking you to release exaggerated anticipation. There is a difference between planning wisely and panicking internally. Planning involves thoughtful action. Panic involves repetitive projection. You have leaned more toward projection lately. I want you to shift that. When fear about the future rises, pause deliberately. Do not allow your thoughts to run unchecked. Bring them into the light. Ask yourself what is factual and what is speculative. Ground yourself in what you know today. Invite me into that space instead of trying to outthink every possibility. You do not have to solve tomorrow tonight. You do not have to anticipate every variable to remain secure. I am already present in the days ahead. You are not walking into an unguarded future. I want you to practice something tangible. When anxiety about what might happen surfaces, speak truth aloud. Say, I will handle what comes when it comes. Say, I am not alone in this. Say, today is enough for now. That is not denial. It is discipline. It interrupts the spiral. It reorients your perspective. You cannot control every outcome, but you can control how much space you give fear. You have also been tying your sense of safety to outcomes you cannot fully guarantee. Financial stability, relational certainty, career predictability. These are good desires, but they are not ultimate security. If you anchor your peace solely in external stability, your peace will fluctuate constantly. I anchor it in my steadiness instead. I do not shift with market changes. I do not falter with relational tension. I am consistent even when circumstances are not. There is something freeing about admitting you do not control everything. That admission does not weaken you. It relieves you. You have been trying to calculate your way into certainty. Certainty does not come from exhaustive analysis. It comes from trust. Trust does not eliminate risk. It reduces anxiety about risk. You can prepare wisely while remaining calm internally. That balance is possible when you stop assuming that you must foresee every challenge. Look back at previous seasons that once felt uncertain. You navigated them. You adapted. You learned. You grew. At the time, you doubted your capacity. Yet here you are, still standing. That pattern should reassure you. You are more adaptable than you think. You are more resourceful than you give yourself credit for. And you are not alone in the process. So the next time your thoughts race ahead into imagined difficulty, slow them down. Breathe intentionally. Invite me into the unknown instead of fearing it. Take one step at a time. Focus on what is in front of you today. Let tomorrow remain tomorrow. I will meet you there when it arrives. You do not need to carry the weight of a future that has not unfolded. Release that burden. Trust that I am already in the days you are worried about. And as you begin to loosen your grip on imagined disasters, you will notice your present moment becoming lighter. Stay here. Stay grounded. Stay aware that you are held, not just today, but in every tomorrow you cannot yet see. My child, there are seasons in your past that you quietly label as wasted. You look back and see detours, delays, decisions you would not repeat. You remember years that felt unproductive, relationships that drained you, efforts that did not produce the outcome you expected. And when you revisit those chapters, something inside you tightens. You tell yourself you should have known better. You calculate how much further you could be if you had chosen differently. I need you to slow down right there. Stop accusing your past with such final language. You are not the only one who walked through those years. I was with you in them. If those seasons were entirely useless, I would not have allowed you to grow through them the way you did. You see lost time. I see layered learning. You see stalled progress. I see strengthening beneath the surface. When you went through that period of uncertainty, you developed discernment that you did not possess before. When you endured disappointment, you learned to separate appearance from authenticity. When you faced rejection, you discovered how to stand without constant validation. Those lessons did not arrive in comfortable packaging. They came through friction, frustration, and sometimes embarrassment. But they were not empty. They were forming you. You were becoming more thoughtful. You were becoming less impulsive. You were becoming more grounded in your values. That formation required time. It required experience. It required encounters that stretched you beyond your preferences. I am not careless with your years. I do not allow entire chapters of your life to exist without purpose. Even when you wandered emotionally, even when you questioned your direction, you were still learning. You have a tendency to romanticize the path not taken. You imagine that if you had chosen differently, everything would be cleaner, clearer, more advanced. That assumption ignores the growth that only came through the path you did walk. The version of you today carries insight that the earlier version lacked. You are more self-aware. You are more careful with commitments. You are more conscious of your boundaries. Those qualities are not accidental upgrades. They were cultivated through lived experience. If I had removed every mistake from your story, you would lack depth. If I had shielded you from every misjudgment, you would lack humility. I am not interested in giving you a flawless narrative. I am interested in forming a resilient heart. Now I want you to do something intentional. Revisit a year you once labeled as wasted. Instead of focusing on what you did not achieve, identify what you learned. Write it down if you need to. Acknowledge the growth that came quietly. Recognize the patience that developed when results were slow. Notice the strength that formed when you had to stand alone. Stop dismissing those seasons as lost. They were investments in your character. You may not have seen immediate returns, but the dividends are showing up in who you are now. There is also a deeper truth you need to accept. I can redeem what you regret. I can integrate your past into your purpose. Nothing you surrendered to me is beyond restoration. Even your missteps can become markers of wisdom. Even your confusion can become testimony of clarity gain. You are not disqualified because your path was imperfect. You are developed because it was real. Release the narrative that you are behind because of past choices. Release the shame attached to years that felt stagnant. You are not starting over from nothing. You are starting from experience. That difference matters. Experience carries weight. Experience carries insight. Experience carries caution where necessary and courage where appropriate. Look at yourself honestly. You are not the same person you were 5 years ago. You respond differently. You think differently. You choose differently. That evolution did not happen in a vacuum. It happened in the very seasons you now question. So stop calling them wasted. Call them formative. Call them refining. Call them necessary. I want you to stand in your present without dragging the accusation of your past behind you. You are not defined by what you did not accomplish earlier. You are strengthened by what you learned along the way. Trust that I am weaving even your imperfect chapters into a purposeful narrative. Nothing in your life is outside my ability to restore, reshape, and realign. Let that settle into you. Your years were not wasted. They were building you for what comes next. There is a kind of loneliness you carry that does not disappear in a crowded room. You can sit among friends, family, coworkers and still feel slightly separate. You participate in conversations. You laugh when appropriate. You engage when expected. Yet there are parts of you that remain unspoken. You sometimes feel that if you revealed everything you think and feel, you would be misunderstood or dismissed. So you filter yourself. You share enough to connect, but not enough to be fully seen. That restraint has created a quiet isolation. I know it exists. I have watched you navigate it. You are not lonely because you lack people. You are lonely because you long to be known without editing yourself. That desire is not weakness. It is human. You were designed for connection that includes honesty. When you withhold your deeper thoughts out of fear of rejection, you protect yourself temporarily, but distance yourself gradually. I am not asking you to reveal every detail of your inner world to everyone. Discernment matters. But I am asking you not to isolate yourself emotionally in every space. There are safe connections available to you if you allow yourself to step into them gradually. There have been moments when you felt invisible even while being useful. People appreciated what you did but did not fully understand who you are. That imbalance has left you feeling unseen. I see you. I see the questions you carry about your identity. I see the tension between wanting closeness and fearing vulnerability. I see how often you choose silence because it feels safer than risking misunderstanding. And I want to gently challenge that pattern. Silence can protect you, but it can also confine you. Start small. Choose one safe person and share something real. It does not have to be dramatic. It can be as simple as admitting that you have been feeling overwhelmed. Let someone see a piece of your interior world. That step may feel uncomfortable, but it is a bridge out of isolation. You do not have to dismantle every wall at once. Lower them gradually. Invite connection carefully. There is also a spiritual dimension to this loneliness. You sometimes wonder if I truly understand you in ways others do not. You may believe in me, but you still question whether your specific emotions matter to me. They do. When you feel misunderstood by people, speak to me honestly about it. Tell me where it hurt. Tell me where you felt dismissed. I am not distant from those experiences. I am attentive. Loneliness often intensifies when you compare your relationships to what you think they should be. Release unrealistic expectations. No human connection will fulfill every aspect of your need for understanding. That is not a flaw in others. It is a reality of human limitation. Allow your expectations to become realistic. Seek meaningful connection without demanding perfection. You are not meant to live emotionally isolated. You are not meant to suppress your depth indefinitely. Gradually open spaces for authentic interaction. Invite me into that process. Ask for courage where fear has dominated. I will guide you toward connections that are healthy and mutual. Most importantly, know this. You are not invisible to me. You are not overlooked in your quietness. I know your humor, your hesitation, your complexity, your compassion. I know the version of you that others rarely see. You do not need to perform for my attention. You already have it. Let yourself be known in layers, starting with me. Speak openly. Release guardedness slowly. Trust that you are worthy of connection. That includes the real you. And as you take those steps, you will notice that loneliness begins to loosen its grip. You are not alone in this. You never have been. My child, I need to speak into a belief you rarely admit out loud. Somewhere deep inside, you sometimes imagine that I am standing at a distance, arms crossed, quietly disappointed in you. You assume I expected more. You think I must be tired of your slow progress, your repeated struggles, your unfinished growth. That image has shaped the way you approach me. You come cautiously. You pray carefully. You filter your words because you do not want to confirm your fear that I am dissatisfied. I want you to let that image go. It is not who I am toward you. I do not look at you with irritation. I do not measure your journey against an unrealistic standard and sigh at your pace. When I see you, I see development in motion. I see someone learning how to navigate complexity. I see someone who keeps trying even after stumbling. That matters to me more than flawless performance. You have grown in ways you do not celebrate. You used to react impulsively where now you pause. You used to internalize criticism instantly where now you question it. You used to collapse under certain pressures where now you withstand them. That is not accidental. That is progress. And progress does not always move in straight lines. There are days when you feel strong and days when you feel uncertain. That fluctuation does not erase your overall growth. You tend to focus intensely on your shortcomings. You rarely pause to acknowledge how far you have come. I see both clearly. I see your areas of weakness, and I see your expanding strength. I am not surprised by your struggles. I anticipated them long before you faced them. Nothing about your imperfection catches me off guard. You sometimes approach me as if you must justify yourself. You list your efforts. You highlight your discipline. You attempt to prove that you are serious. I am not waiting for you to impress me. I am inviting you to trust me. There is a difference. When you feel distant from me, it is often because you have convinced yourself that you need to earn closeness again. You do not earn closeness with me. You return to it. You come honestly. You come as you are. You do not need a polished presentation. You need sincerity. Let me be clear with you. Correction is not rejection. When I guide you to adjust something in your life, it is because I care about your well-being, not because I am disappointed in your existence. I refine you because I am invested in your potential. I do not discard you when you misstep. I teach you. I strengthen you. I redirect you when necessary. If I were truly disappointed in you in a condemning way, I would withdraw. But I have not withdrawn. I am still here. I am still speaking. I am still guiding. That should tell you something about my heart toward you. I want you to try something intentional. The next time you feel hesitant to approach me because of something you regret, come anyway. Do not wait until you feel worthy. Do not postpone connection until you feel improved. Bring your unfinished self. Bring your confusion. Bring your inconsistency. I am not fragile. I can hold your complexity. The relationship I desire with you is not based on flawless behavior. It is based on honest interaction. You are not a disappointment in my eyes. You are a work in progress that I am deeply committed to shaping. I see your efforts even when you downplay them. I see your heart even when you question it. I see your intention even when execution falls short. Let go of the idea that I am constantly dissatisfied with you. Replace it with the truth that I am patiently invested in you. That shift will change the way you relate to me. It will soften your approach. It will reduce your anxiety. It will allow you to draw near without fear. Stay with that truth for a moment. Let it settle. You are not under constant scrutiny. You are under constant care. And that care does not waver when you are imperfect. You are not a disappointment to me, and neither is your desire to help carry my voice further. The compassion you feel right now is evidence of my spirit moving within you. When you support this mission through super thanks, membership, or by giving through the PayPal link in the description, you are helping my word reach hearts that still believe I am disappointed in them. I declared, let your light so shine before others, and your generosity becomes that light, pushing back darkness in places you may never physically enter. Do not underestimate what a single act of obedience can ignite. A spark becomes a flame, and a flame becomes a wildfire of awakening. This is holy ground, a divine appointment disguised as a simple decision. As you give, I will guard your provision, increase your capacity, and pour back into you, pressed down and overflowing. If you have ever longed to serve me in a tangible way, this is one of those moments. Step forward now, support, give, and let your faith move beyond feeling into action. My child, there is something in you that slips easily into performance. You learned early that approval often followed achievement. You discovered that praise came when you were productive, composed, capable. Over time, you began to associate worth with output. That mindset did not disappear when you came into relationship with me. You carried it with you. You assumed that I measure you the same way others have. So you try to pray correctly. You try to act consistently. You try to maintain spiritual discipline without flaw. And when you miss a day, when you lose focus, when you feel spiritually dull, you worry that you have disappointed me. That pressure has made your faith feel heavier than it needs to be. You do not need to impress me with your effort. I am not evaluating you based on spiritual performance metrics. I am not tallying your quiet times. I am not ranking your consistency. I am interested in your authenticity. I would rather you speak to me honestly for 5 minutes than perform eloquently for an hour. I would rather you admit that you feel distracted than pretend you are deeply focused. Performance creates distance because it hides reality. I do not need you to hide. Consider how exhausting it is to maintain an image. When you believe you must appear strong at all times, you suppress vulnerability. When you believe you must always feel confident, you deny uncertainty. That suppression creates tension. It makes your relationship with me feel like a task instead of a connection. I did not design this relationship to be a test you must pass repeatedly. I designed it to be a place of trust. Let me give you a contrast that may help. There is a difference between discipline and performance. Discipline grows from desire and commitment. Performance grows from fear and comparison. When you spend time with me because you genuinely want closeness, that is discipline rooted in love. When you spend time with me because you are afraid of losing approval, that is performance rooted in insecurity. I want your discipline to flow from desire, not dread. Release the need to present a polished version of yourself in my presence. If you are tired, say so. If you are confused, say so. If you are struggling to believe something, say so. I am not shocked by your humanity. I am not offended by your honesty. In fact, honesty deepens connection. When you drop the performance, intimacy grows. There is also something freeing about accepting that you cannot sustain perfection. You were not created to maintain flawless spiritual momentum. You were created to grow gradually. Some days you will feel engaged and steady. Other days you will feel distracted and distant. Those fluctuations do not cancel your relationship with me. They reflect your humanity. I am consistent even when you are not. I want you to approach me as you would approach a loving father who already knows your tendencies. You do not need to recite rehearsed lines. Speak naturally. Ask questions. Express frustration when you feel it. Celebrate gratitude when it rises. Let the interaction be real. Stop trying to earn what has already been given. Stop measuring your closeness by your output. Rest in the truth that you are accepted before you achieve anything. That acceptance is not fragile. It does not fluctuate with your mood or performance. Take a breath right now and let the pressure lift slightly. You are not on stage with me. You are at home with me. That difference changes everything. And when you internalize it, your faith will begin to feel less like a performance and more like a relationship built on trust. My child, there is something stirring in you lately, and you have not fully put words to it. It is subtle, almost like a shift in the air before the weather changes. You sense that something is adjusting internally, but you cannot yet point to visible evidence externally. You wake up some mornings with a quiet awareness that you are not the same as you were. You think differently. You respond differently. You hesitate before reacting. You are less eager to chase what once captured your attention. That shift is not random. It is not mood fluctuation. It is movement. It is quiet movement, steady movement, sacred movement. And I want you to recognize it instead of doubting it. You have been asking for change, but you expected it to arrive loudly. You imagined dramatic circumstances, clear announcements, undeniable signs. Instead, what I am doing in you is measured and meaningful. I am adjusting your appetite. I am refining your desires. I am softening certain ambitions and strengthening others. I am loosening attachments that once felt essential. You may not see doors opening yet, but you are being prepared to walk through them differently. That internal alignment matters more than external acceleration. When your character shifts, your capacity expands. When your perspective stabilizes, your decisions improve. I am building alignment between who you are becoming and what you will step into. Pay attention to what no longer excites you in the same way. Notice what conversations you no longer tolerate. Recognize the boundaries you are beginning to set without guilt. Those are indicators of growth. That is evidence that you are not standing still. You are evolving quietly. Do not dismiss it because it lacks spectacle. The strongest structures are reinforced before they are revealed. The most lasting transitions begin beneath the surface. You are in a season of internal reordering. That reordering will eventually reflect in your external world, but it must be secure within you first. I want you to cooperate with this change instead of resisting it. When you feel drawn toward deeper reflection, lean into it. When you sense that certain habits need adjusting, respond deliberately. Do not cling to what feels familiar simply because it is comfortable. Growth sometimes requires releasing patterns that once felt safe. I am not stripping away joy from you. I am refining your focus. I am aligning you with what will sustain you long-term rather than what temporarily distracts you. There may be moments when this transition feels uncomfortable. You may feel slightly out of sync with people who once understood you easily. That discomfort does not mean you are regressing. It may mean you are maturing. When your priorities shift, your relationships may adjust accordingly. Do not panic. Let the process unfold. Stay attentive to my guidance. Ask me for clarity when confusion surfaces. I will not leave you navigating change alone. There is also something I need you to stop doing. Stop rushing to define the outcome. You want to label this shift quickly. You want to predict where it is leading. Allow it to breathe. Allow it to develop. Some transitions need time to take shape. If you force a conclusion prematurely, you may miss the nuance of what is forming. Trust that I am steady in this. Trust that I am not destabilizing you. I am strengthening you. You are not drifting. You are developing. You are not losing yourself. You are discovering a clearer version of who you are meant to be. That clarity may feel unfamiliar at first, That is normal. Stay grounded. Stay open. Invite me into each decision as you sense this shift unfolding. You are moving into a more aligned season, even if you cannot yet describe it fully. Let yourself breathe in this awareness. Something is changing in you, and it is not chaotic. It is constructive. It is deliberate. It is purposeful. Walk forward with quiet confidence. I am guiding the transition, and I will complete what I have begun in you. My child, there is something you have accepted from me in theory but not fully in practice. You believe that I forgive you. You say you trust my grace. Yet you continue to hold yourself accountable in ways that extend far beyond correction. You revisit old mistakes. You replay decisions that did not reflect your best judgment. You rehearse conversations you wish had gone differently. You have asked me for forgiveness, but you have not granted it to yourself. That internal refusal keeps you tethered to moments that I have already released. You may think that holding on to self-blame proves your sincerity. You may believe that punishing yourself internally shows that you understand the seriousness of your misstep. But prolonged self-condemnation does not honor growth. It delays it. When I forgive you, I am not dismissing accountability. I am separating your identity from your error. You often blur that distinction. You label yourself instead of labeling the mistake. You say, I am foolish, instead of saying, the decision lacked wisdom. The difference matters. One attacks your core. The other addresses behavior. You need to understand something deeply. If I have released you from condemnation, you are not honoring me by clinging to it. When you insist on carrying shame that I have removed, you are choosing a burden I did not assign. I corrected you so you could grow, not so you could remain trapped in regret. There is a difference between remembering a lesson and reliving the failure. Learn the lesson. Release the weight. You do not need to drag yesterday into every tomorrow. I want you to take an intentional step right now. Identify one specific mistake that still surfaces in your thoughts. Name it clearly. Acknowledge what you learned from it. Then consciously decide to stop rehearsing it as evidence against yourself. If the memory arises again, remind yourself that it has already been addressed. Do not entertain it as an accusation. Treat it as a reminder of growth achieved. That shift will free mental space for present clarity. There is humility in acknowledging error. There is maturity in adjusting behavior. But there is no virtue in endless self-punishment. You have grown since that moment. You think differently now. You would choose differently now. That evolution is proof that the mistake served its purpose and taught you. It refined you. It shaped you. Let it rest there. You may fear that if you forgive yourself too easily, you will become careless. That fear underestimates your integrity. You are not looking for excuses. You are looking for freedom. Freedom does not eliminate responsibility. It removes shame that distorts identity. I want you operating from clarity, not from chronic self-doubt. When you feel tempted to reopen a closed chapter, pause. Ask yourself whether revisiting it is producing wisdom or just pain. If it is only pain, let it go. Invite me into that moment. Say, help me release this. I will strengthen your resolve. I will steady your thoughts. I will remind you of who you are becoming rather than who you once were. You are not defined by your worst choice. You are defined by your willingness to grow beyond it. You are not permanently marked by your past. You are progressively shaped by it. Let forgiveness become practical in your daily thoughts. Let it interrupt self-accusation. Let it quiet unnecessary shame. Stand up internally. Lift your head. You are not condemned. You are corrected, refined, and still deeply loved. Forgive yourself in alignment with the forgiveness I have already given you. Walk forward lighter. Walk forward clear. Walk forward free from the weight you no longer need to carry. My child, you have been running on quiet exhaustion for longer than you admit. You wake up already calculating what needs to be done. You measure your day by productivity. You evaluate your value by output. Even when you pause physically, your mind continues moving. You tell yourself that rest must be earned. You feel uneasy when you slow down. You associate stillness with laziness. That belief has been draining you in subtle ways. I did not design you to live in constant strain. I created rhythm in you. There is a time to work and a time to recover. There is a time to build and a time to breathe. When you ignore that rhythm, your spirit tightens. You have been pushing yourself beyond what is sustainable. You say yes to responsibilities because you do not want to disappoint anyone. You accept expectations because you fear being seen as unreliable. You continue even when your body signals fatigue. That pattern has formed a cycle of pressure and performance. I want you to step out of that cycle. I want you to consider that rest is not retreat. Rest is renewal. When you refuse to rest, you gradually weaken your clarity. Your decisions become reactive. Your pain soaring. Your joy fades quietly. You may not notice it immediately, but the strain accumulates. Let me invite you into something healthier. Set boundaries intentionally. Protect time that restores you. Do not apologize for needing space. You are not required to be endlessly available. You are not obligated to prove your worth through constant motion. When you feel tired, acknowledge it honestly. When you feel overwhelmed, step back deliberately. Rest is not abandonment of responsibility. It is stewardship of your capacity. You serve others better when you are not depleted. You think more clearly when you are not exhausted. You respond more wisely when you are not stretched thin. You sometimes believe that if you slow down, everything will collapse. But fear exaggerates your control. You are not the only force holding your world together. I am present in your responsibilities. I am active in your commitments. You can pause without the entire structure unraveling. Release the pressure that you must carry everything continuously. Trust that I am steady even when you are resting. There is something deeply spiritual about healthy rest. It communicates trust. It acknowledges limitation without shame. It admits that you are human and not designed for perpetual strain. When you rest with intention, you align with wisdom. You create space for reflection. You allow creativity to return. You give your emotions time to settle. That stillness often reveals insights you miss while rushing. I want you to practice this intentionally. Schedule moments of restoration without guilt. Protect them. Do not fill them immediately with distraction. Use that time to breathe, to reflect, to reconnect with me. You do not need to accomplish something impressive in those moments. Simply be present. Let your mind settle. Let your nervous system calm. If guilt surfaces when you slow down, confront it gently. Ask yourself why you feel undeserving of rest. Challenge the belief that productivity equals worth. Replace it with truth. You are valuable even when you are still. You are loved even when you are quiet. You are accepted even when you are not producing. Rest will not make you weaker. It will make you steadier. It will sharpen your discernment. It will preserve your strength for what truly matters. Do not wait until burnout forces you to stop. Choose to pause before exhaustion dictates it. Invite me into your rest, not just your work. Let our connection be present in your stillness as well as your striving. You do not have to earn restoration. It is part of your design. Honor it. Embrace it. Trust that stepping back occasionally will not derail your progress. It will sustain it. My child, I want you to look at your life not as a finished product but as a developing story. You sometimes evaluate yourself as if you should already be complete. You expect clarity in every area. You want consistency without fluctuation. When you notice gaps in your maturity, you become discouraged. You question whether you are progressing at all. But growth is not instant. It unfolds gradually, often in ways that are not obvious day to day. You are still becoming. That phrase is not an excuse. It is an acknowledgement of process. You have already changed in ways you rarely recognize. Your reactions have softened in situations that once triggered you. Your priorities have shifted in ways that reflect deeper values. Your discernment has sharpened through experience. Those developments did not happen overnight. They emerged through repetition, reflection, and refinement. Becoming is ongoing. It requires patience with yourself. It requires humility when you misjudge something. It requires courage to adjust. You are doing all of that even when you feel uncertain. There are areas where you still feel inconsistent. You sometimes revert to old habits. You occasionally respond from insecurity instead of confidence. That does not mean you are regressing. It means growth is layered. Some habits take longer to transform. Some patterns require repeated awareness before they dissolve. Do not interpret imperfection as stagnation. Instead, see it as part of a refining process. When you notice a weakness, address it calmly. Learn from it. Move forward. Avoid dramatic self-criticism. I want you to adopt a steady perspective toward your own development. Celebrate progress without arrogance. Confront flaws without despair. Maintain balance. Becoming requires both honesty and hope. If you focus only on what remains unfinished, you will overlook the progress already made. If you ignore areas that need growth, you will stall. Hold both realities together. You are growing, and you are not finished. There is something powerful about recognizing that you are under construction. It allows room for grace. It reduces the pressure of unrealistic expectations. It encourages resilience when you encounter setbacks. You are not failing because you are learning. You are not behind because you are refining. You are not inadequate because you are evolving. Invite me into this ongoing formation. Ask me to reveal blind spots gently. Ask me to strengthen your resolve in areas that need discipline. Ask me to protect your heart from discouragement when growth feels slow. I will guide you patiently. I am not rushing you toward an impossible standard. I am shaping you deliberately. You do not have to become someone else to fulfill your purpose. You are becoming a clearer version of who you were created to be. That clarity develops through experience, through correction, through courage. Stay engaged in the process. Do not withdraw because progress feels incremental. Incremental growth compounds over time. Look at yourself with perspective. You are not static. You are not stuck. You are still becoming. And I am committed to walking with you through every stage of that becoming. Trust the process. Trust the formation. Trust that I am present in every layer of your growth. My child, your doubts have been louder than you admit. They do not always shout, but they whisper steadily. They question whether I am truly involved in your daily life. They suggest that perhaps I am distant, observing but not engaging. They raise subtle suspicions that your prayers echo into silence. I need you to understand something that will steady you if you allow it. I am closer than your doubts. Your uncertainty does not create distance between us. Your confusion does not cancel my presence. You sometimes measure my nearness by your emotional clarity. When you feel spiritually aware, you assume I am close. When you feel distracted or numb, you assume I have stepped back. That assumption is not accurate. My presence does not fluctuate with your mood. There have been days when you questioned whether I heard you at all. You prayed without feeling immediate reassurance. You asked for direction and did not receive instant clarity. In those moments, your doubt tried to interpret the silence as absence. But consider something carefully. If I were truly distant, you would not care. The fact that you wrestle internally is evidence of connection, not separation. Your desire for closeness reveals that something real exists between us. Doubt often intensifies when you are on the edge of growth. It tests your stability. It examines whether your trust depends on sensation or conviction. You have experienced moments when you felt unexpectedly calm during uncertainty. That calm was not self-generated. You have sensed guidance in decisions where logic alone could not explain your clarity. That discernment was not accidental. You have been protected in situations you later recognized could have gone differently. That protection was intentional. These are not dramatic, exaggerated claims. They are subtle patterns in your life that you have occasionally overlooked. I have been active in ways that do not always demand attention. Now I want you to shift something internally. Stop interpreting every quiet moment as abandonment. When doubt arises, confront it calmly. Ask yourself what evidence you actually have that I am absent. Examine your history. Recall previous seasons where you felt uncertain but later saw purpose. Use memory as reinforcement rather than as fuel for insecurity. Your doubt may feel convincing, but feelings are not final authorities. Invite me into your uncertainty instead of hiding it. Say plainly, I am struggling to trust right now. That honesty does not repel me. It invites deeper engagement. I am not threatened by your questions. I am not offended by your hesitation. I respond to sincerity. When you bring your doubt into conversation with me, it loses some of its power. Silence strengthens insecurity. Dialogue reduces it. There is also something you must recognize. You sometimes expect constant emotional affirmation as proof of my nearness. But constant emotional intensity is not sustainable. Stability is quieter. My closeness is often steady rather than sensational. It is consistent rather than dramatic. It supports you without demanding spectacle. If I overwhelmed you with constant intensity, you would struggle to function normally. Instead, I anchor you subtly. Pay attention to the ways you have endured difficulty without collapsing. Notice how you have maintained hope even when circumstances were unclear. Recognize how you have been guided away from harmful decisions. Those are indicators of my involvement. They are not coincidence. They are care. Do not allow doubt to define your relationship with me. Let it become an invitation to deeper trust. When uncertainty surfaces, lean in rather than pulling away. Speak openly. Stay connected. Resist the urge to withdraw because you feel confused. I am closer than your confusion. I am steadier than your questions. You are not navigating life alone, even when your emotions suggest otherwise. I am present in your quiet mornings, in your distracted afternoons, in your restless nights. My proximity is not fragile. It does not waver when your confidence dips. Hold on to that truth. Let it anchor you when your thoughts attempt to drift. I am nearer than you realize, and that nearness is not temporary. My child, there are things unfolding beyond your immediate view. You have been focusing on what feels delayed, but you have not fully considered what is being prepared. You see current limitations. I see future capacity. You see unanswered questions. I see alignment in progress. Preparation is not always visible. Often it takes place quietly, assembling pieces you do not yet recognize as significant. I am coordinating circumstances, refining your character, positioning you strategically. You may feel like you are waiting, but waiting is not passive. It is formative. There are responsibilities ahead that require the version of you that is emerging now. If I placed you into them prematurely, you would feel overwhelmed rather than empowered. I am strengthening your discernment so that you recognize opportunity clearly. I am expanding your patience so that you can handle complexity without panic. I am deepening your resilience so that you do not crumble under pressure. These internal adjustments are essential. They prepare you for sustainability rather than short-lived success. You have been asking for clarity about your future. Instead of giving you a detailed map, I have been shaping your readiness. If I showed you everything at once, you might focus on the outcome rather than the formation required to sustain it. I am not withholding information to frustrate you. I am guiding you progressively so that your confidence grows alongside your responsibility. Trust that my timing is intentional. Trust that my restraint is protective. There are also relationships being aligned. There are conversations that will unfold at the right moment. There are opportunities that will intersect with your growth at the appropriate time. You cannot force alignment without creating strain. Let it develop naturally. Stay attentive. Stay prepared. When doors open, you will recognize them not because they are flashy, but because they resonate with the maturity you have cultivated. I want you to cooperate with this preparation actively. Continue refining your habits. Strengthen your discipline quietly. Clarify your values. Release distractions that dilute your focus. Do not treat this season as empty. Treat it as investment. What you are building internally will support what you step into externally. There may be moments when impatience tempts you to accelerate prematurely. Resist that urge. Haste can compromise stability. Growth that unfolds gradually tends to endure. You are not missing out. You are being positioned. The difference may not feel dramatic, but it is significant. Reflect on previous seasons when something eventually unfolded at the right time. Remember how clarity came after confusion. Recall how provision appeared when you felt uncertain. Use those memories as reinforcement. My consistency in your past is evidence for your future. Stay engaged. Stay disciplined. Stay receptive. Preparation is not punishment. It is protection and positioning combined. I am not delaying your future. I am designing it carefully. You may not yet see the full structure forming, but trust that I am not improvising with your life. I am intentional. I am attentive. I am invested in outcomes that align with your growth. What I am preparing will not just impress you temporarily. It will sustain you long term. Continue forward with steady faith. Your current season is not empty space. It is constructive space. And when the time is right, what has been quietly prepared will emerge with clarity. Stay ready. Stay trusting. I am shaping more than you can presently see. My child, after everything I have spoken to you, after every place we have walked through together in this conversation, I want to end where it matters most. Stay with me. Not in a dramatic way, not in a emotional reaction. Stay with me in a steady, deliberate way. You have heard my heart toward you. You have felt areas inside you soften. You have recognized truth that you were quietly craving. Do not let this become just another moment that fades once distraction returns. Hold on to it. Guard it. Let it settle deeper than inspiration. You live in a world that pulls your attention in 100 directions. Notifications can be for your focus. Responsibilities demand your energy. Opinions try to shape your thinking. It is easy for your heart to become scattered. And when your heart becomes scattered, your clarity weakens. I am inviting you into something different. Choose consistency with me, not perfection. Consistency. Wake up and acknowledge me. Walk through your day aware of me. Speak to me in the ordinary moments, not just in crisis. Build awareness gradually. That awareness will anchor you when life feels unstable. There will be days when you feel spiritually strong, and days when you feel distracted. Stay with me anyway. There will be moments when you understand clearly and moments when confusion lingers. Stay with me anyway. Do not make closeness dependent on your mood. Let it become a steady practice. Even when you feel nothing dramatic, remain engaged. Relationship is built over time, not through emotional spikes alone. I want you to guard your interior life more carefully. Notice what influences your thoughts. Notice what drains your peace. Make adjustments when necessary. If something repeatedly unsettles your spirit, step back from it. If something strengthens your clarity, lean toward it. Be intentional. Do not drift unconsciously. You have more influence over your daily alignment than you realize. Use it wisely. Staying with me also means trusting me when outcomes are unclear. It means resisting the urge to withdraw when answers are delayed. It means choosing to believe that I am working even when evidence is incomplete. That choice will not always feel easy, but it will keep you steady. When you are tempted to isolate yourself internally, turn toward me instead. When discouragement whispers, counter it with truth. When impatience rises, breathe and remind yourself that growth is unfolding. I am not asking you for dramatic vows. I am inviting daily faithfulness. Speak honestly. Listen attentively. Adjust willingly. Return quickly when you drift. Do not let shame convince you to stay distant. If you stumble, come back immediately. If you doubt, bring the doubt into conversation. If you grow weary, rest in my presence rather than running from it. There is stability available to you when you remain connected. You will think more clearly. You will respond more wisely. You will navigate uncertainty with greater calm. This is not abstract encouragement. It is practical alignment. Staying with me shapes how you interpret events. It influences how you treat people. It steadies your internal reactions. Look at how far you have come already. Look at the ways your perspective has shifted. That did not happen in isolation. It happened because you have remained open. Continue that openness. Protect it. Nourish it. I am not stepping away from you. I am not losing interest in your growth. I am committed to you fully. Stay with me not out of fear, not out of obligation, but out of trust. Choose closeness deliberately. Choose it tomorrow morning. Choose it in your next decision. Choose it when your emotions fluctuate. You are not alone in this journey. You never have been. I am here. Remain here with me. Walk with me. Grow with me. And let this private message become a living connection rather than a passing moment. Staying with me is not only about quiet moments, it is also about advancing my voice in the earth. If this message has anchored you, imagine the thousands who are still drifting, waiting for the same steady call. When you give through Super Thanks, become a member, or use the PayPal link in the description, you help keep this river of truth flowing to thirsty souls. I told you, cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days, and I am speaking that promise over your generosity now. What you release becomes manna for someone praying in the dark at 2 a.m. This is how you stay with me, not only in devotion, but in mission. There is urgency in this hour, The harvest is ready, and I am calling willing hands to help carry the fire. I will bless what you place in my hands and return it with increase, stability, and favor. Do not delay when your heart is moved. Act now, give boldly, and remain with me by building what I am building. And once you have responded, let the urgency give way to stillness within your heart. Mission flows best from a place of rest, not exhaustion. What you have released outward has already made space for me to meet you inwardly. This is where doing gives way to being, where your soul can breathe again. So pause here for a moment, because before you carry anything further, I want you to know that I see you. I see you. I see you rushing through your day, trying to keep your head above water while the world demands more of you than you feel you have to give. You are exhausted by the noise, the notifications on your phone, the constant pressure at your job, and the endless mental checklist that keeps you awake at night. Stop for a moment. I am calling you right now. I am not calling the version of you that everyone else sees. I am calling the real you, the one who feels a little lost in the middle of all this chaos. You feel that gentle tug in your chest, don't you? That is not just a random thought or a bit of late-night anxiety. It is my Holy Spirit reaching out to you. I am whispering to your heart because I want to give you something the world cannot offer. I want to give you rest. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Right now, I want you to silence the noise. Put down the heavy weights you've been carrying. You don't have to perform for me. You don't have to use fancy words or pretend you have it all together. I know exactly how tired you are. I am inviting you into a secret place, a sanctuary in the shadow of my presence. Think of it like walking into a quiet room after being stuck in a loud, crowded street. Here, the expectations of others cannot reach you. Here, my love wraps around you like a warm blanket on a cold night. You are safe with me. This moment we are sharing is not an accident. I have divinely appointed this time specifically for you. I have seen you searching for peace in places that always leave you empty, but I am the well that never runs dry. I am asking you to prepare your heart to receive my wisdom. To do that, you must be willing to let go of your need to control everything. You worry about tomorrow as if I am not already there. You stress over your finances and your family as if I have forgotten you. I have not forgotten you. I am here in the stillness. Feel my presence. It is steady. It is unchanging. It is the only thing that is truly solid in your life. When you stay in this secret place with me, you find the strength to face the world again. You find that you are not alone in your struggles. I want you to make this a habit. Come to me before the day starts or when the house finally goes quiet at night. I'm waiting for you. You might think you are too busy for this, but I tell you, you are too busy not to do this. Without me, you are driving a fast car with the handbrake on, burning yourself out while going nowhere. But with me, you find a rhythm that is graceful and powerful. I am your shelter. I am your hiding place. I am your father, and I love you more than you can imagine. Pause now. Just listen. I am here. I am with you. I will never leave you. This is my promise to you. I want you to look at yourself, but not through the cracked mirror of the world's expectations. I want you to see what I see. I created you in my own image, carefully weaving your life together with purpose and intentionality. You are not a mistake. You are not a byproduct of your past or the sum of your mistakes. I am calling you to break the chains of every label the world has tried to stick on you. You have been told you are not enough, that you are a failure, or that you are only worth what you produce. I tell you today that those are lies. You are my child, an heir to the Most High, and your value is rooted in my love, not your performance. Stop for a second and let that sink in. You are a child of the King. This is your true identity. When you walk into a room, you don't have to shrink back in fear or insecurity. You carry my DNA. I have set aside a spiritual inheritance for you that the world cannot touch and the bank cannot take away. You are redeemed. You are bought with a price. I want you to start walking in the dignity that comes with being mine. When you look at your life through the lens of my grace, everything changes. You no longer have to beg for scraps of validation from people who don't even know their own worth. You have my approval. You have my favor. I am inviting you to step out of the shadows of who you used to be. I have washed you clean. You are a new creation. When you feel that old familiar shame trying to pull you down, I want you to remember whose you are. I have given you a name that is written in heaven. You are royalty in my kingdom. This isn't just a nice thought. It is a high-impact reality that should change how you wake up in the morning. You belong to me. I am your Father, and I am proud of you. Take a breath and accept this truth. You are loved, you are chosen, and you are mine. I know about the scars you hide. I know about the things that happened to you that were unfair, and the things you did that you wish you could take back. I see the pain you carry in your chest, the kind that feels like a heavy weight you've been dragging for years. I am here to pour the oil of joy over those old wounds. I am the God who restores. I am the God who heals. I have been with you in every season of your sorrow, even the ones where you felt completely alone. I was there in the hospital room. I was there in the quiet house after the argument, and I was there when your heart was breaking in silence. I want you to release the weight of that guilt right now. You have been carrying failure like it's a life sentence, but I have already served the time for you. I don't look at your brokenness with judgment. I look at it with a plan for my glory. I am a master at taking shattered pieces and turning them into a masterpiece. Your past does not disqualify you. It prepares you. Those scars are not signs of shame. They are proof that you survived it. And they are the very places where my light will shine the brightest to help others. I am commanding you to walk away from the shadows of yesterday. Stop looking back at what you lost or who left you. I'm doing a new thing in you right now. I am making your heart new. I want you to feel the lightness that comes when you finally let go of the what-ifs and the if-onlys. I am your healer. I am the one who wipes away every tear and gives beauty for ashes. Trust me with your pain. Give it to me, and let me show you how much I can do with a heart that is fully surrendered to my love. You are being made whole, piece by piece, starting today. You are not an accident. Your life is not a series of random events or a lucky break. Before the foundations of the world were even laid, I had a blueprint for your life. I prepared works for you to do, specific, unique assignments that only you can fulfill. I have placed gifts inside of you that the world needs. Maybe you feel like your life is small or that you aren't doing anything big for the kingdom, but I want you to understand the power of small acts of obedience. When you choose kindness over bitterness, or when you show up for your family with love, you are fulfilling my eternal will. I am inviting you to align your daily walk with my heart. Ask me for direction. I want to uncover the talents I've hidden in your spirit like treasure. You find fulfillment not in chasing success as the world defines it, but in serving the purpose for which I created you. Your job, your home, your neighborhood, these are the places where I have planted you to be my hands and feet. Do not despise the day of small beginnings. Every step you take in faith is building something that will last forever. Trust me that your life has meaning. Even on the days when you feel invisible, I am watching you with delight. I am orchestrating the details of your life behind the scenes. You are part of a much larger story, a divine narrative that spans eternity. I am calling you to step into that purpose with confidence. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to say yes to the next step I put in front of you. I am your guide, and I have already mapped out the path. Walk with me, and watch how I turn your ordinary life into something extraordinary. I know it feels dark right now. I know you are looking at the path ahead, and you can't see the next step. It's scary when you don't have the answers, isn't it? But I want you to feel my hand holding yours. Even when the path is dim, I am not lost. I am the light that shines in the darkness, and I am leading you. This season of uncertainty is not a sign that I have left you. It is a refining fire. I am using this time to strengthen your faith, to teach you how to lean on me when you can't lean on your own understanding. I want you to understand something important. When I say wait, it does not mean no. I am working in the waiting. I am moving things in the spiritual realm that you cannot see yet. Draw your strength from my character, not your circumstances. I do not change. I am the same God when you are on the mountaintop as I am when you are in the valley. I am giving you a peace right now that transcends human logic. It is a peace that says, I don't know the outcome, but I know the one who holds the outcome. Stop striving. Stop trying to force doors open that I have closed for your protection. Victory is found in surrender, not in struggling against my will. Let go the how and the when, and just trust the who. I am your provider. I am your protector. I am your peace. I want you to breathe out all the tension you've been holding in your shoulders. I've got this. I've got you. The valley is just a passage, not a destination. We are going through it together, and you will come out on the other side stronger, wiser, and more deeply connected to my heart than ever before. My child, do not turn away now, for I am unfolding the very blueprint of your soul, and it would grieve my heart to see you walk back into the noise just as I am beginning to whisper your true name. To stop here is to leave the door of our secret place half closed. Do not disappoint the spirit that has pulled you this far from the edge of the world. Stay with me, for the next words I speak are the ones your heart has been crying out for in the dark of night. My child, you must realize that the heaviness you feel in the air sometimes isn't just a bad day. You are in a world where a battle is raging for your peace, your mind, and your very soul. I am calling you to stand up and dress yourself for the occasion. Do not go out into the world uncovered. I am commanding you to gird your loins with the truth of my word. In a world that screams lies at you, telling you that you are worthless, that you will never succeed, or that you're all alone, my truth is the belt that holds everything together. It keeps you grounded when the winds of culture try to blow you over. Without my truth, you are just reacting to the noise. With it, you are stable. I want you to feel the weight of the breastplate of righteousness I have placed over your chest. It is there to guard your heart. Your heart is the wellspring of life, and the enemy wants to pierce it with bitterness and regret. But my righteousness, the perfection I gave you through my Son, is a shield that nothing can penetrate. You don't have to be perfect on your own. You just have to wear what I gave you. Look down at your feet. I am asking you to walk in the peace of the gospel. This isn't a passive peace. It's a grit your teeth, stand your ground kind of peace. It means that no matter how rocky the terrain of your life gets, whether it's a health scare or a betrayal, your feet are steady because they are planted in my good news. Raise your shield of faith right now. Do you see those fiery darts coming at you? Those are the intrusive thoughts, the sudden fears about your children, the whispers that something is going to go wrong. I am inviting you to lift your faith as a barrier. Faith isn't a feeling. It's a decision to believe me more than you believe your eyes, When you hold up the shield, every single one of those darts will be quenched. They will even leave a mark. And do not forget the helmet of salvation. Your mind is the primary battlefield. I am protecting your thoughts with the reality that you are saved, you are kept, and you are mine. Finally, I am putting the sword of the Spirit, which is my word, in your hand. I am not just asking you to defend, I am giving you the authority to speak back to the darkness. When the storm howls, you speak my promises. Use high-impact language to declare my truth over your life. Say it out loud, God is with me, and no weapon formed against me shall prosper. This is how you win. I need you to listen closely. The fear you feel is not from me. That knot in your stomach when you think about your future, that racing heart when you check your bank account, that paralyzing what if, that is a spirit of fear, and I have not given it to you. I am replacing that anxiety right now with the spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. I want you to remember that I have already overcome the world. There is nothing you will face today, tomorrow, or 10 years from now that I haven't already defeated. Why do you let the shadows frighten you when I am the light that makes them flee? I am calling you to a new kind of boldness. This isn't a fake toughness the world teaches. It's a quiet confidence that comes from knowing I am standing right behind you. I am commanding you to fear not. This isn't a suggestion. It's a divine promise and a direct order from your King. When the storms of life howl, you don't have to scream back. You just have to stand firm. Think of a mountain. The wind can blow against it. The rain can beat down on it. But the mountain doesn't move. You are that mountain when you are tucked into my presence. I want you to cast every single care upon me. I mean every single one. The big fears about your health and the small fears about your schedule. Imagine you are holding a heavy, jagged rock for every worry you have. Your hands are bleeding and your arms are shaking. I am standing right here with my hands open. I am saying, give them to me. Why are you still holding them? I care for you with a depth you cannot even imagine. Use metaphors in your own heart to see my protection. See me as a high tower where you can run and be safe. I am your refuge. I am your fortress. When you realize that the Creator of the universe is personally invested in your daily life, fear loses its grip. It becomes an annoyance, not a master. Breathe in my power. Breathe out that fear. You are safe. You are held. You are going to be okay because I am already there in your tomorrow. Come to the well of my grace. You've been trying to earn my love, haven't you? You've been keeping a scorecard, thinking that if you do enough good things, I'll be happy with you. And if you mess up, I'll turn away. I am here to tell you to throw that scorecard away. My grace is sufficient for every single one of your weaknesses. In fact, my power is made perfect in the very things you are ashamed of. I don't love a perfect version of you that doesn't exist. I love the you that is struggling, the you that is tired, the you that feels like a mess. My mercy is a bottomless well, and it is renewed every single morning. Do you know what that means? It means that even if you failed yesterday, even if you lost your temper or gave in to that old habit, today is a clean slate. You are living under a favor that you cannot earn and you cannot lose. I am inviting you to find freedom in the finished work of the cross. Stop trying to pay a debt that has already been settled. When you let go of legalism, all those shoulds and musts, you finally have room to embrace my love. This grace is not just a safety net for when you fall. It is the fuel that empowers you to live a holy life. It's like a Ferrari driving with the handbrake finally released. When you realize how much I love you, you don't want to live in the mud anymore. You want to rise up. You want to be who I called you to be. Grace gives you the strength to say no to the things that hurt you and yes to the things that bring life. It is my gift to you. You don't have to work for it, you just have to receive it. Open your heart. Let the warmth of my favor wash over you like a summer sun. You are forgiven. You are free. You are accepted just as you are. I want to talk to you about the secret garden of your soul. You are the steward of your heart, and I am calling you to guard it with everything you've got. Everything in your life, your words, your actions, your relationships, flows from what you allow to grow inside of you. If you allow seeds of bitterness to take root, they will eventually grow into a forest that chokes out your joy. I am commanding you to pull up those weeds now. I see the resentment you're holding toward that person who hurt you. I see the jealousy you feel when you see someone else succeeding. Those are weeds. If you don't pull them, they will ruin the garden. I am inviting you to cultivate the fruits of my spirit every single day. Love, joy, peace, patience, these aren't things you try to do. They are things that grow when you stay connected to me. I want you to focus your mind on things above. When you fill your head with the trash of the world, the constant drama, the negativity, the comparison, you are poisoning your own well. But when you fill your heart with gratitude, even for the small things like a warm meal or a sunset, you are creating an environment where my spirit can thrive. I am asking you to be a vessel of honor, set apart for my use. That means being careful about what you let in. What are you watching? Who are you listening to? These things matter. I want you to maintain a spirit of gratitude in every circumstance, not because everything is perfect, but because I am good. This is a high-impact way to live, and changes your internal chemistry and your external reality. When your heart is healthy, your whole life becomes a reflection of my light. It becomes memorable and impactful to everyone you meet. Guard your heart, my child. It is the most precious thing you own because it is where I dwell. Do you understand the weight of what you say? I have given you a gift that no other creature has, the power to create or destroy with your tongue. Life and death are in your words. When you speak, you are sowing seeds into your future. I am calling you to look at your speech. Are you constantly talking about how tired you are, how broke you are, or how nothing ever goes right? When you do that, you are calling those things into your reality. I am commanding you to stop. I want you to start speaking my promises over your life instead. I am inviting you to refine your speech to reflect my kindness. Your words should be like a refreshing rain, not a stinging wind. Think about the impact your testimony has on those around you. When people hear you speak, do they hear hope, or do they hear the same complaining they hear from everyone else? You have the power to break generational curses through your prayerful declarations. You can say, "In my family, the cycle of addiction ends with me. In my life, the spirit of lack is broken." I am calling you to speak those things that are not as though they were. This is the language of faith. Use alliteration and repetition to make my truth stick in your mind. I am blessed. I am bound for glory. I am beloved. Repeat it until you believe it. When you speak my word, you are wielding the sword of the Spirit. You are changing the atmosphere of your home and your workplace. I want you to be intentional. Before you speak, ask yourself, is this bringing life? Is this reflecting my Father? Your words are tools. Use them to build, to heal, and to lead others to me. Your voice matters. Use it with authority. Use it with love. Use it to tell the story of what I am doing in you. My child, you have just learned that life and death are in your tongue. So I am commanding you now to let your actions speak with the same authority. I am inviting you to sow a seed of fire into this mission, for your words and your wealth are both tools meant to build my kingdom. When you give through a super thanks with a link in the description, you are not merely clicking a button. You are releasing manna to a hungry world and fueling the light that shatters the darkness. I tell you, he who sows sparingly will reap sparingly, but he who sows with a heart of radical love will see a harvest that defies human logic. This is your divine appointment to partner with me in carrying this private message to every corner of the earth. I will open the windows of heaven over your obedience and multiply your bread until your storehouse overflows. Do not let this moment of conviction pass you by. Act now and fuel the flame of my word. I am pouring out the treasures of my wisdom specifically for you, yet it would be a profound sorrow to me if you chose the shallow comforts of the world over the deep, transformative power of this conversation. Do not let your focus flicker now. To abandon this moment is to neglect the very authority I am placing in your hands to change your destiny. I am watching you, hoping you will choose to listen further, for I have so much more to reveal about the victory that belongs to you. I see the way you look at the numbers. I see the tightness in your chest when the bills arrive and the math doesn't seem to add up. You feel that familiar shadow of lack creeping in, whispering that there won't be enough for you, for your children, or for your future. I am commanding you to look away from that ledger and look at me. I am Jehovah Jireh, your provider, and my storehouse is never empty. I am inviting you to trust me to supply every single one of your needs, not just the spiritual ones, but the practical, tangible needs that weigh on your mind every morning. Do not limit me to what you can see in your bank account. Your bank account is a human vessel, but my resources are infinite and celestial. I want you to understand the principle of sowing and reaping in my kingdom. When you hold on to everything with a clenched fist because you are afraid of running out, you block the flow of my blessing. But when you open your hand, even in your own time of need, you create a channel for me to pour more back into you. Think of the miracle of the loaves and the fishes. I didn't start with a banquet. I started with a small, seemingly insignificant offering from a child. I took what was not enough and I broke it, blessed it, and multiplied it until there was more than enough. I can do the same with your time, your energy, and your finances. I am asking you to find contentment right now, whether you are in a season of plenty or a season of lack, because your security is not in the stuff. It is in the provider. You are not an orphan. You are a child of the King, and I take personal responsibility for your well-being. Stop striving and stressing as if you have to carry the world on your shoulders. I am the one who clothes the lilies of the field and feeds the birds of the air, and you are worth so much more to me than they are. I want you to rest in the knowledge that I am already in your tomorrow, preparing the way and providing the resources before you even know you need them. Use high-impact language to declare my provision over your life. Say it with authority. My God shall supply all my needs according to his riches and glory. When you speak it, you align your reality with my truth. This is not a wish. It is a divine guarantee. I am calling you into a deeper conversation. For too long, you have treated prayer like a shopping list or a desperate SOS signal you only send when things are falling apart. I am inviting you to move from a monologue to a true dialogue with me. I want to hear your heart, not just your requests, but your fears, your dreams, and your frustrations. But more than that, I want you to learn to listen. I am not a distant God shouting from the heavens. I am right here, speaking in a still, small voice that you can only hear when you quiet the noise of your own thoughts. I want you to realize the authority you carry when you pray in my name. You aren't just wishing upon a star. You are engaging the most powerful force in the universe. Your prayers have the power to move mountains, to open doors that have been welded shut, and to change the hearts of people you think are unreachable. I am commanding you to be persistent. Do not give up just because the answer hasn't arrived yet. Persistence in prayer isn't about convincing me to help you. I already want to help you. It's about aligning your spirit with mine until you are ready to receive what I have for you. I'm also calling you to look beyond yourself. There are people in your life right now who are hurting, who are lost, and who are drowning in silence. I am inviting you to be an intercessor for them. Your prayers can be the lifeline they didn't know they had. When you pray for others, something miraculous happens in your own heart. Your own problems start to look smaller as your heart grows larger. Prayer is the lifeline of the believer. It is the breath of your soul. Do not neglect it. Come to me in the secret place and let's talk. I have so much I want to tell you, and I am always listening. I want to talk to you about the weight you are carrying, the heavy, jagged stones of resentment and offense. You feel justified in your anger, don't you? You feel that because they hurt you, because they lied about you, or because they walked away when you needed them, you have a right to hold on to that debt. But I am here to tell you that the person you are really hurting is yourself. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. It hinders your own spiritual growth and blocks the flow of my peace in your life. I am commanding you to release that debt, just as I have released yours. Think of the staggering mountain of debt I wiped away for you at the cross. I didn't wait for you to get it all right before I offered my mercy. I loved you while you were still far off. I am inviting you to reflect my character by showing radical mercy to those who don't deserve it. This isn't about saying what they did was okay, it wasn't. It's about saying, I am not going to let your actions control my internal peace anymore. When you forgive, you aren't letting them off the hook. You are letting yourself out of the prison. I am calling you to do something even harder. Pray for those who have despitefully used you. It is impossible to hate someone while you are sincerely asking me to bless them. This is how you heal. This is how you become like me. I am the God of the second chance, the third chance, and the 70 times 7 chance. I want you to walk in the spiritual freedom that only comes through letting go. Let me be the judge. Let me handle the justice. Your job is to love and to forgive. As you do, you will feel a lightness in your spirit that you haven't felt in years. The shadows of the past will lose their power, and my joy will flood the spaces where bitterness used to live. I see you standing at the crossroads, feeling paralyzed by the choices in front of you. You are afraid of making a mistake, afraid of missing my will, and afraid of the consequences if things go wrong. I am inviting you to seek my counsel before you lean on your own understanding. You have a habit of trying to figure everything out in your head, running through a million scenarios until you are exhausted. But I am the Alpha and the Omega. I see the end from the beginning. I am commanding you to trust me with your closed doors just as much as your open ones. Sometimes, a no from me is the greatest protection you will ever receive. I am giving you the gift of discernment. I want you to learn to distinguish my voice from the loud, demanding voices of the world and the anxious whispers of your own ego. My voice brings peace, even when the answer is difficult. The world's voice brings pressure and confusion. Use my word as a lamp under your feet and a light under your path. When you don't know what to do, go back to what I have already said. I will never lead you in a direction that contradicts my truth. I want my peace to be the umpire of your soul. If you don't have peace about a decision, wait. Don't rush into a commitment out of fear or people-pleasing. I am asking you to gain a heart of wisdom through the fear of the Lord, which simply means respecting my ways more than you respect the opinions of men. Trust that I am guiding you, even when it feels like you are walking in the dark. I am holding your hand, and I will not let you stumble. You don't need to see the whole map. You only need to see the next step I have illuminated for you. Walk in that light, and the rest will follow in my perfect timing. I am calling you to a deeper level of commitment. You say you love me, and I know that you do, but loving me means keeping my commandments. I am not looking for a part-time follower or someone who only says yes when it's convenient or comfortable. I am inviting you into a life of radical obedience, the kind that makes the world call you foolish but makes the heavens rejoice. There is a specific blessing that follows a heart of yes. When you obey me, you aren't just following rules. You are entering into a rhythm of grace that protects and prospers your soul. Sometimes I will ask you to sacrifice your comfort for my glory. I might ask you to give when you feel like you have nothing left, or to reach out to someone you find difficult to love, or to leave a situation that is toxic even though it's familiar. I am commanding you to trust my heart even when you don't understand my hand. The narrow road is not the easy road, but it is the only road that leads to life. I want you to find your joy in the very center of my will. There is no safer place in the entire universe than in the middle of my plan for you. Think of the impact your obedience has on the world around you. When you live a life that is fully surrendered to me, you become a beacon of light in a very dark place. People will see your peace, your integrity, and your love, and they will want to know the source. Your yes to me can change the trajectory of your family for generations. Do not settle for a mediocre, lukewarm existence. Step out of the boat and walk on the water with me. I am calling you to greatness, but that greatness is found in the simple, daily act of obeying my voice. I am with you, and I am cheering you on. Your obedience is never in vain. It is the seed of your future victory. Do not harden your heart just as the light is breaking through. It would deeply disappoint my Father's heart to see you settle for a partial blessing when the fullness of my kingdom is within your reach. I have brought you to the narrow road of radical obedience, and to walk away now would be to leave my grace unspent in your life. Stay and finish this journey with me, for I am about to show you how to walk on the water of your deepest fears. I see the weariness that has settled over your spirit, my child. You remember the beginning, don't you? You remember that first spark, that first moment when my love felt like a consuming fire and everything in the world seemed new. But over time, the religion of life, the chores, the trials, the routine, has acted like a damp cloth over that flame. I am here to reignite your first love. I am not calling you back to a set of rules. I am calling you back to me. I am inviting you to drink from the fountain of living water once again. Why are you trying to satisfy your thirst with the salt water of worldly success? It only leaves you thirstier. I want you to understand that the joy I give is not a fleeting emotion based on your circumstances. It is the very strength of your soul. When you have my joy, you can stand in the middle of a hurricane and still have a song in your heart. I am commanding you to let my praise be continually in your mouth. This is a high-impact spiritual discipline. Even when you don't feel like it, speak of my goodness. Use the power of repetition to remind your soul who I am. Say it until the atmosphere of your home changes. God is good. God is faithful. God is my rest. By repeating these truths, you embed them into your memory and make them a part of your daily reality. I am asking you to find delight in my word. It isn't a textbook. It's a love letter. It's a lamp that keeps you from tripping over the shadows of this world. When you shift your focus from your problems to my presence, your perspective changes. You begin to see your life from an eternal viewpoint. You realize that the things stressing you out today are just a vapor compared to the glory I have prepared for you. I am restoring the why behind your faith. I am taking the heavy, gray veil of obligation off your eyes and replacing it with the bright light of my grace. Laugh again, my beloved. My joy is your inheritance, and I am pouring it out on you right now. I care about every part of you, not just your spirit, but your body and your mind. I see the pain in your joints, the fatigue in your bones, and the fog that sometimes settles over your thoughts. I am the great physician, and it is my desire for your soul and your body to prosper together. I want you to recognize that your body is the temple of my Holy Spirit. It isn't just a machine. It is a sacred space where I dwell. I am inviting you to honor it. I am calling you to a restorative Sabbath rest. You were not designed to run at 100% every single day without stopping. When you refuse to rest, you are saying you don't trust me to handle things while you sleep. I want you to lean into the healing power inherent in my stripes. I took the brokenness of the world upon my own body so that you could find wholeness. Trust me with your ailments. I am not saying you should ignore wisdom or medicine, but I am saying you should look to me as the ultimate source of life. I am also speaking to your mental and emotional wellness. Much of the disease in your body comes from the unease in your mind. My peace is the best medicine for a racing heart. When you let my peace act as the umpire of your soul, your physical body responds. I am commanding you to stop treating your body like it is an enemy. Speak life over your limbs. Speak strength over your heart. Use vivid imagery to see my healing light flowing through you like a river of fire, burning away the things that don't belong there. Imagination is a powerful tool I gave you to construct your own reality. See yourself walking in health. See yourself with the energy to do the work I've called you to do. I am the God who heals you. I am the God who restores your youth like the eagles. Trust the great physician. I am working in you, even now, to bring every cell into alignment with my life-giving power. I want you to look at the world through my eyes for a moment. What do you see? You see people who annoy you, people who disagree with you, or people who seem beyond hope. I see my children who have lost their way. I see the prodigals who are eating with the swine because they've forgotten the way back to the Father's house. I am calling you to develop a heart of radical compassion. The Great Commission is not a suggestion for the super spiritual. It is your personal mandate. I am inviting you to be the salt and the light in a world that is losing its flavor and its way. You are my hands and my feet. I have placed you in your specific neighborhood, your specific job, and your specific family because there are people there who will only hear my voice through yours. I am commanding you to share the hope of the gospel with boldness. You don't need a theology degree. You just need to tell them what I've done for you. Your testimony is a powerful weapon. It makes my love relatable and grounded. When you tell someone, I was lost and I was found, you are opening a door that no one can shut. I am asking you to love your neighbor as I have loved you. This isn't just about the people who are easy to love. I am talking about the person who irritates you, the one who is hard to be around. That is where my grace is most visible. I want you to feel the joy of heaven. You know that the angels throw a party over just one sinner who repents. I want you to be part of that celebration. I am giving you a divine burden for the hurting. Don't turn away from the pain of others. Walk into it with my light. Be the person who stops to listen, who offers a prayer, and who shows the world that I am still in the business of saving souls. You are an ambassador of the King. Walk in that authority. I know you feel like giving up sometimes. You've been running this race for a long time, and your legs are heavy. You look at the road ahead and it feels like the finish line is moving further away. I am here to tell you, don't you dare stop. I am commanding you to run the race with your eyes fixed on me, not on the people around you or the obstacles in your path. I am the author and the finisher of your faith. I am inviting you to cast off every weight that easily besets you, the old habits, the distractions, the good things that are keeping you from the best things. When your strength is gone, that is exactly when my strength begins. I am not asking you to finish this in your own power. I am the wind at your back. I am the strength in your stride. I am giving you the endurance to stay steadfast in a world that is constantly changing. People will let you down, systems will fail, and the world will grow cold, but my word remains. I want you to draw from my unchanging character. Use the metaphor of the Ferrari with the handbrake on. Many people have the potential for a great finish, but they are held back by self-doubt. Release the brake. Trust the power I've put inside you. There is a crown waiting for you. This isn't just about surviving, it's about finishing well. I am promising you that your labor is not in vain. Every prayer you've whispered, every tear you've shed, and every time you've chosen to be kind when it was hard, I've seen it all. It is all being recorded in the books of heaven. Stand firm. Do not be moved. When the storms of life howl, let them see a believer who knows how to endure. I am with you in the final stretch. I am the one waiting at the finish line with my arms open wide, ready to catch you. Keep going, my beloved. We are always home. I want to talk to you about something that might feel uncomfortable. My discipline. I know that in the world, discipline often feels like punishment or anger. But with me, it is the highest form of love. I only prune the branches that I want to see bear more fruit. If I didn't care about you, I would let you continue down paths that would eventually destroy you. I am commanding you to accept my rebukes with humility. When I point out an area of your life that needs to change, maybe it's your pride, your temper, or a secret habit, it is because I want better for you than you want for yourself. I am inviting you to learn from your wilderness experiences. Those times when you felt dry, when you felt like you were wandering and nothing was working, I was using those moments to refine you. I was stripping away the things you were leaning on so that you would learn to lean only on me. Do not resent the correction. A father who loves his child will not let them run into traffic. I am the Father who is steering you back to the center of my will. It might hurt for a moment, but the peaceable fruit of righteousness that follows is worth the sting of the pruning shears. Trust my heart even when you don't understand my hand. You see the immediate discomfort, but I see the eternal glory. I am preparing you for things you cannot even imagine yet, and that preparation requires a heart that is soft and teachable. Stop making excuses for the things I am trying to change in you. Instead, saying, "Yes, Father, have your way." This level of surrender is what separates the crowd from the disciples. I am calling you deeper. I am making you more like my Son every single day. Embrace the process. The fire isn't there to consume you. It's there to purify you until I can see my own reflection in your soul. As I prune the branches of your soul to make you more fruitful, I am calling you to let the oil of your generosity flow as a sign of your surrender. You have felt my hand guiding you through the wilderness, and now I am asking you to be the river that carries my grace to those still wandering in the desert. By becoming a member or supporting this work today, you are laying up treasures in heaven where no thief can steal and no moth can destroy. My heart is moved when you value my word enough to invest in its journey into the hearts of the broken. I declare that as you honor me with your substance, I will honor you with a peace that transcends all understanding and a protection that quenches every fiery dart. Your gift is a sweet-smelling sacrifice that reaches my throne and changes lives forever. Obey my voice this instant and sow into the glory I am preparing for you. We are standing on the threshold of your eternal purpose, and it would grieve me beyond words if you let fatigue rob you of the crown I am preparing for you at the finish line. This discipline I offer is my highest love, and to reject the end of this message is to reject the very hands that are pruning you for greatness. Do not stop now. The most vital secrets of my heart are reserved for those who endure until the final word is spoken. My child, I want you to see your life as a branch connected to a great, ancient vine. I am that vine, and you are the branch. I am calling you to understand a fundamental truth. Apart from me, you can do nothing of eternal value. You might be able to work hard, make money, and build a house on your own, but those things are like cut flowers. They look pretty for a moment, but they are already dying because they have no root. I am inviting you into a life of constant connection. I am commanding you to stay attached to me, for I am the source of the life-giving sap that produces fruit in your character. When you abide in me, the fruit of love, joy, and peace isn't something you have to work for. It is the natural overflow of our relationship. I want you to think about the flow of life from my heart to yours. When you wake up in the morning and acknowledge my presence, you are opening the valve. When you read my words and let them sink into your mind, you are deepening your roots. I am asking you to stop trying to produce good works in your own strength. You've been exhausted because you've been trying to act like a branch that can live on its own. You've been driving your life like a Ferrari with the handbrake on, burning out your engine because you aren't flowing in my power. Release that brake. Let my life flow through you. I am the one who brings the sunshine and the rain. Your job is simply to remain. Deepen your intimacy with me through daily devotion. This isn't a chore to check off your list. It's a lifeline. It's a secret place where we meet, far away from the noise of the world. I want you to rest in the security of my eternal grip. Once you are in my hand, no one can snatch you away. You are safe. You are sustained. You are fruitful. Even in the winter seasons, when it looks like nothing is growing, I am working in the roots. I am preparing you for a harvest that will last for eternity. Stay with me. Walk with me. Breathe with me. I am your life. I am doing a work in you that is much bigger than your current circumstances. I see you focusing on the right now, but I am looking at the forever. I am inviting you to live with an eternal perspective every single day. The challenges you face, the trials that feel so heavy, they are a refining fire. This fire isn't meant to destroy you. It is meant to burn away the dross, the impurities, and the things that are holding you back from your true potential. I am purifying your soul so that you can reflect my light to the nations. You are like a mirror, and I am polishing you so that when people look at you, they don't just see a person, they see a glimpse of the divine. I want you to anticipate the day you will see me face to face. Every act of kindness, every yes to my will, and every moment of integrity is a thread in the garment you will wear in my presence. You are being transformed from glory to glory. This transformation is often quiet and slow, but it is real. I am commanding you to recognize the weight of eternal significance in your actions. Nothing you do for me is small. When you choose to forgive, when you choose to give, when you choose to speak life, you are building a legacy that will echo in eternity. You are a vessel of honor, set apart for my use. Stop living for the temporary applause of people. Their praise is like the wind. It's here 1 second and gone the next. Life for my well done. I want you to be a reflection of my light in the darkened corners of this world. Use the vivid imagery of a lighthouse. The storm may crash against it. The darkness may try to swallow it. But the light remains steady because it is anchored to the rock. You are anchored to me. Let my glory shine through your broken places. It is the cracks in the jar that let the light out. Do not fear your weaknesses. They are the stage where my glory performs its best work. I did not design you to walk this path alone. I created you for community, for a family that spans across every nation and tongue, the body of Christ. I am calling you to realize the importance of your brothers and sisters in the faith. You were never meant to carry the weight of the world on your own shoulders. I am inviting you to engage in holy fellowship, where you can sharpen one another as iron sharpens iron. When you isolate yourself, you become an easy target for the enemy's lies. But when you stand together, you are a fortress. I am commanding you to bear one another's burdens in love. When you see someone hurting, don't just offer a pitying look. Reach out. Be my hands. Be my heart. There is a specific strength found in corporate worship that you cannot find in your private closet. When my children lift their voices together, the atmosphere changes. Chains are broken, and mountains are moved. I want you to be an encourager. The world is full of people who tear each other down. I am asking you to be the one who builds others up. Your words of affirmation can be the very thing that keeps someone from giving up. Unity is your greatest witness to an unbelieving world. When people see you loving those who are different from you, when they see you forgiving those who have failed you, they see me. I am asking you to guard that unity. Uproot seeds of bitterness or gossip before they can grow. Be the one who brings peace to the room. You are part of a royal priesthood, a holy nation. Walk with your family. Pray for your family. Celebrate with your family. Together, you are the light of the world. Together, you are unstoppable. I am in the midst of you when you gather, and my power is multiplied in your unity. I want to remind you of the unshakable nature of my word. I am not a man that I should lie. When I make a promise, I keep it. My covenant with you is written in blood and sealed by my spirit. I am commanding you to stand firm on these truths when the world feels like shifting sand. I will never leave you, nor will I ever forsake you. That is not just a poetic sentiment. It is a literal reality. Whether you are in the fire, in the flood, or in the quiet of your own room, I am there. I am the short, sharp shock of truth that wakes you up when you are drifting into despair. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. This doesn't mean weapons won't be formed. It means they won't succeed in their purpose to destroy you. I am working all things together for your good, even the mistakes, even the heartbreaks, even the wrong turns. I am the master architect who can take a ruin and turn it into a cathedral. Your name is written in the Lamb's book of life, and that ink is permanent. I have already achieved the victory over the grave, and because I live, you shall live also. I want you to use these promises as your shield. When the enemy whispers that you are finished, you repeat my word. Use alliteration to make it memorable. I am protected, I am purposed, and I am provided for. Say it until it sinks deep into your subconscious. I am your Father, and I have given you my word as your bond. You can bank your entire life on what I have said. I am constant. I am faithful. I am true. Rest in the certainty of my love. I have seen your end from your beginning, and it is good. My beloved child, we have talked about many things, but I want to leave you with the ultimate hope. This world is not your home. You are a pilgrim, a traveler passing through, and I have prepared an eternal dwelling place for you that is more beautiful than anything you can imagine. I am inviting you to live with your heart already at home. One day, I will wipe away every single tear from your eyes. There will be no more pain, no more sorrow, and no more death. The terrible wedding of this world's suffering will be replaced by a fantastic reception in my kingdom. I want you to imagine the joy of entering into my presence and hearing those words, "Well done, good and faithful servant." All the struggles, all the quiet acts of obedience, and all the times you chose to love when it was hard. It will all be worth it in that moment. You will finally understand the dual understanding of your life, that while you were walking on earth, you were also a citizen of heaven. I am preparing a place for you, and I am also preparing you for that place. Do not be discouraged by the trials of today. They are but a light affliction compared to the eternal weight of glory that awaits you. I am calling you home, but until that day comes, I want you to live fully for me. Be a vessel of my grace. Be a herald of my kingdom. Walk in the power and authority I have given you. Keep the conversation going. I am always listening, and I am always speaking. You are never alone. You are never forgotten. You are deeply, personally, and eternally loved. This is my private message to you, and it will never expire. Breathe in my peace. Step out in my power. I am with you, always, even to the end of the age. My beloved, we have reached the threshold of eternity together, and now I am asking you to help me lead others to the home I have prepared for them. This private message was a gift to your soul, but I am commanding you to be the light that carries it to the millions still trapped in the cold, dark cellar of despair. Your support through PayPal or the membership link is the fuel that keeps this lighthouse burning bright against the howling storms of the age. Remember that I am the God who multiplies the loaves and the fishes. Your small act of obedience today will feed a multitude of hungry spirits. I release my favor over your finances and my strength over your household as you step out in this radical faith. The harvest is truly plentiful, but the laborers are few. I am calling you to be the one who says yes to the mission. Go to the link in the description immediately and seal your legacy in my eternal kingdom. Now, do not let these words vanish like a mist in the morning sun. Instead, I command you to seal this divine encounter with a bold declaration of your heart. The moment for silence has passed, and the hour for a high-impact response has arrived. I am calling you to step forward right now and comment I am yours to anchor your soul in the truth that you have heard my private message and are ready to walk as my beloved heir. Use your words to create a sharp shock to the darkness, making your commitment memorable and permanent in the heavens. By declaring this publicly, you are not just typing on a screen. You are constructing a new reality and acknowledging the intelligent potential I have placed within you to change your world. Do not wait. Prophecy or surrender now and watch as my glory begins to saturate every corner of your life. Amen.